are live.
And action.
In a night where the world is filled with darkness, there is but a one glimmer of light, and that light is filled with a bunch of furries, all talking about video games.
I think that was terrible, and
Hey, it
I'm
was last
pretty
minute.
sure that people are closing their tabs as we speak.
Well,
I think the title for this stream should be "What Could Go Wrong."
what could go wrong? Actually, that might have reversed jinx things, and everything might have worked out perfectly if we'd done that.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh boy.
Okay, so welcome to the 5th Gremcast. This week we have myself, Valerie. We have the star sequence with Rocky as your host. We have QQ, and then we have Kota.
Yeah.
I'm a man of many names, and
Yeah,
every podcast, my name seems to change.
Yep.
Where did Star Sequence come from, by the way? It's not a name that's familiar with me.
I made it up.
Okay. Sounds good.
I was actually quite surprised, since I would have thought that you would have named this the Freedom Frequency.
I have long since abandoned that title. I was an idiot going through college, and every name I made meant something. It was, I don't even know what Freedom Frequency meant, but it was supposed to be uber deep because I was in this phase where I was listening to nothing but uber deep bullshit. So,
Imagine
in
how
hindsight,
you
a lot
felt.
of it was bullshit.
Imagine how you felt when you figured out that there is something called the feminist frequency.
I believe that I'm old royalties.
No, Mr. Gremlin, Rocky, Balboa, yada yada.
Even better, I think you're old
Star
all the
sequencing.
you got money.
So what?
I don't know.
Oh.
Buzz,
So-
what did you say?
Yes.
I said what? I asked, what did you say?
What did
I
you
should be
say?
drawing,
Me? Or her?
but I'm a shit.
What is going on? I've
I
lost
don't know. People are confusing me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's get back on track. Our first topic of today is
Balls.
no.
And how we enjoy fondling them.
Well, actually, can we
that
talk
too.
about everyone's week?
But right now we have there is an article in Niche Gamer saying never before seen concept art for cancelled Conquer Getting Medieval.
Holy crap! We didn't do this last week. Oh, because we were here last week.
Yeah, because you're away.
Because you decided to sleep.
We're going straight to news because I don't give a shit about introductions. Everybody know who we are at this point.
Well, it was more of like, how was everyone's week? I was wondering. If you're still doing that.
We'll do that at the end of the podcast.
No.
I'm in a weird mood.
So it turns out that Rare revealed some never before seen concept art for a cancelled Conquer game titled Conquer Getting Medieval.
I am so disappointed this game is canceled.
I know, especially since like it has really cool artwork of Barry as the concept art for this thing.
Yep.
And it's actually quite disappointing.
But if you look further into the council game, you find out it wasn't meant to be a sequel or a prequel. It was meant to be a standalone multiplayer game set in the medieval era. For the
Oh,
original
wait.
Xbox.
So it's a multiplayer game, right?
Yes.
Well, that explains why it failed.
If it was multiplayer only, yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
that would
I
have
mean,
been
it would
Duke.
have been really cool if there was actually a single player campaign centered around this.
Yes. This is kind of like I don't get it because it seems like Conquer is very popular. Uh, it just seems like an overly absurd. Uh, it seems like I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood, but it seems like an overly absurd idea to cancel a Conquer game, especially since the game has gained such a large cult following. I I very disappointed because the Conquer franchise seems like a series that should have you know should have been a more
Should have been able to blossom into its own large, overgrown franchise by now,
yeah, I don't know.
instead of comparably 2 games.
I like Conquer. I don't know why it's such a like it's got that silly humor, but its humor isn't too typical juvenile humor. It's more like a dark Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I
then you have a boss that is literally a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I
That's
had
an opera.
I found the concept art here. So hopefully, as I'm talking, it's popping up on screen. Is this working?
Give me a second.
You are
No,
presenting.
you haven't shared.
You have to click. You have to click on them,
Hmm?
and you have to click on Q to be able to see it. Star.
Okay, there we go. Can the podcast see it? Because then we will be
They
involved.
just see his little icon. With the
Shoot.
picture.
Oh well.
Okay, I think
thought
I
I'd
can
be-
see. Yeah,
I thought
okay, I
I'd
can
be
see.
and try
Yeah, I
screen.
think I can see why this game has failed or got cancelled because, like, the premise and atmosphere of this game seems to be too much of a radical departure from the original games.
I think that it could have worked because it's not like continuity is something that Conquer is important to Conquer. It seems
Yeah.
like Conquer would have been a good series that kind of changed its premise at least every game or something like that. Like doing, you know how they have cartoons with negative continuity? Do something like that. Or I don't know.
I'm
It's
not even talking about the continuity aspect of it. I am more talking about the whole,
Marketing.
atmosphere and tone of the game.
Well,
yes.
then again, we are talking about Conker, who went from being so squeaky clean that he was one of the racers in Diddy Kong Racing to being Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Uh, so the tone has not exactly been consistent either.
Yeah, I just think that Conquer is a franchise that would benefit from having some sort of like negative continuity thing going because uh it would most certainly set it apart from a lot of other series. Though
That is true.
to be fair, I
I
don't know
mean,
if Mario counts as having continuity in and of itself.
what about
So,
Sonic?
well, Sonic's all about continuity, but now it's not about continuity. I don't know what Sonic's about now.
Well,
But
Sonic's about
like
going fast.
Legend of Zelda, that's not really about continuity, although they kind of slap some on anyway.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I've always explained things that I end up having when it comes to franchises like this. I end up having my own personal idea of exactly how it would go, but I would never know exactly what the creators intended for it. But I think Conquer would benefit from having a continuity snarl thing going for it.
Either way, I do think
Not
that it's
snarl,
a
but
real shame that we don't see any more Conquer games nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think nin- uh, Microsoft has this problem where they never really knew what to do with Rare. And I think that they spent so long not knowing what to do with Rare that most of what made Rare has left Microsoft.
Yep.
So now they're kind of stuck. What do you do? I mean, all they have is the intellectual property. So what do they do? I mean, well,
You hire a bunch of people who are
You know what I think?
time dedicated
I
fans,
think
and you give them free reign there.
You know what I think? I think they should give the franchise to Galaxy Trail and have them make like a spin-off based on the Freedom Planet's engine.
Wait, Conquer?
Yeah.
well, it can't hurt.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't think that will work simply because isn't Freedom Planet running on Game Maker?
I think it's running on its own engine.
It is.
I think
Well, they are making a Wii port, so does Game Maker output Wii stuff?
No, I don't think so.
What was Conker's Pocket Tales, by the way? Was that a platformer or was that like an RPG thing?
It was a
It
platform.
was a platformer, and it was a. It was before Conquer went mature.
Freedom Planet runs on Click Team.
Oh.
Click Team Fusion.
Okay. Well, speaking of mature, from last week, from Niche Gamer, we learned that Guillermo del Toro had also not only collaborated with, crap, now I forget his name.
I mean, Kojima? Not only had he
Yeah.
collaborated with Hideo Kojima, apparently Junji Ito was also involved in the Silent Hills.
Yes.
Isn't Junji Ito the man responsible for creating the Grudge franchise?
Yep, he is an incredibly popular horror mangaka.
Yeah.
He is the horror artist in Japan.
Isn't he
And looking at the picture,
for the Enigma of the whatever fault, the one with the "this hole was made for me" thing?
the Enigma
There was
of
a whole year,
Amigata
but it's
Fault.
gone now.
Yes. That creeped me out.
And oh god, are you looking at the picture in this article right now?
Let me
That thing is pretty fucking metal.
All right, we need to screenshot. Someone needs to screen share this.
Okay.
Let me try and screen share it.
Can somebody link me the Titan Pad or something? Because I have no links to anything.
Yes. The Titan Pad's actually misbehaving right now. So I will make a paste bin and I will link you to the paste bin.
Yes.
Actually, I have been adding stuff in the furry section, so you might want to look at that before we, get to that. But for now, let's concentrate on the whole Junji Ito thing.
I'm going to screen share it.
Okay.
So let's just see. Kojima and myself are fans, said Guillermo del Toro on Twitter, while posting various art from Ito-san. You can view an example of his artwork featured above as part of Del Toro's messages on the artist. It is sad to see this information spring out now, as it serves as another reminder of what could have been a fantastic Silent Hill game.
It just seems like a perfect fit for Silent Hill because
I know.
it does get a lot of its influence from Japanese horror.
Yeah,
Just seems like a waste.
Yeah, chalk this up to another example of how Konami ruins everything.
They hate money.
Now how Konami ruins everything.
Hmm.
Now,
I know
think it's enough about Konami. Let's
we keep
move on. Yeah.
we keep covering games that seem like they would have been awesome and didn't
Yeah.
happen.
This is starting to becoming a
Shit.
very depressing stream.
Yeah, yeah, much like Bubsy the Bobcat and being featured in a good game for once.
Yes. Today's magical word is Bubsy.
Mhm.
We'll get to that.
We have learned.
Zero.
So
What a disappointment.
So,
I actually
moving
have
on.
a template in GIMP at work
Hmm.
of Pee Wee Herman holding the magic word of the day, and anytime someone brings up a buzzword, I send that image to them in a reply with that buzzword held up. So yeah, I don't know. That was just completely random. I don't know why I brought that up.
next article.
All right, the
Half-Life
next
3.
article is going to be a big load of nothing. So it says Half-Life 3 isn't a VR game according to Valve. We have learned via VG247 that Valve's long rumored and somewhat mythical Half-Life 3, somewhat, that's an understatement, won't be a part of Valve's upcoming HTC Vive virtual reality HMD system. Did anyone ask for this? I
So
mean, I'm honest. Like we just
I
want Half-Life 3 to fucking come out. We don't
so
need Half-Life 3 to have a VR
haven't
system.
even played the first two.
so
By
Chet
the way,
how do you pronounce his name? Chet Falzak?
No,
Watch
it's Chet Falicek. No, Falijek.
Chet Falijek. Thank you. I'm terrible about names. Chet Falijek was asked by someone if Half-Life 3 would be a VR game, and his answer was one word: no. Now note something very important. That doesn't imply that Half-Life 3 is even ever going to exist. His answer of
I
no
know.
is still true if Half-Life 3 were just to mysteriously vanish.
but yeah.
Graham, just one note. You might want to unscreen share and close any stray Ink Bunny tabs just in case, because Google doesn't look very kindly on those things popping up.
Oh
Just in
yeah,
case.
boy. I forgot about that.
Oh, God. Are you looking at porn?
No, I am not looking at porn.
Okay. So, something else I want to mention because I couldn't find a article actually talking about it. There was a little bit of Half-Life 3 leakage by accident into the Dota 2 PTR stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I've heard about that.
Yeah, I'm always suspicious of things like this because it was named HL3 dot whatever the extension was. It makes me think that it was a plant because you don't name things like that. HL3.
Oracle.
Yeah,
No, it's
plant.
either
Half-Life 3 will come out and it will be the greatest game to ever exist. And
You
it will
know-
have flying golden unicorns farting out candy and Skittles.
You
Yeah.
know, wouldn't it be funny if Half-Life 3 is already out by now, but nobody realizes it because it is an ARG?
Wait, the waiting for Half-Life 3 is the game. We're playing it right now.
What if Half-Life 3 is about waiting for Half-Life 3?
Yes, it's also performance art, and we are the artists.
Excuse me, it's called the Autists. So yeah, I think that this article is like a load of nothing because it is pretty much pure speculation on a product that would probably never come out in our lifetimes.
Yeah, so
Just saying.
this reminded me of after some of the early Harry Potter books that came out, J.K. Rowling did an interview where she told everyone what the last word of the last book was going to be. And then the last book came out, and that wasn't the last word of it. So anything that a creator says way before something comes out, take with a grain of salt, or with a truck of salt.
Yep.
A truck of
Because-
salt.
Because believe it or not, the word of God is not the correct word.
You mean the word of our Lord and Savior Gaben?
The what?
The word of our Lord and Savior Gaben.
The word of our Lord and Savior gave.
hmm
So, next article. Koei Tecmo. Neo resurfaces as a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Say what?
Ah.
Neo, like Ni-H-O-H rather.
A
Oh,
game that was
Neo.
first revealed for PlayStation 3 back in 2005. Wow.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
And it's been resurfaced as a PlayStation 4 exclusive with a
Huh.
new trailer and everything. The game is dark action.
So basically, a Dark Souls ripoff.
Uh,
It can't be a Dark Souls ripoff if it was first announced in 2005.
Why?
Well,
the
technically,
Yeah, but
it has.
like, but the what the article said about the game is quite telling. It is a dark action RPG where you'll take on challenging missions. Yeah.
In a Sengoku style world,
Mm-hmm.
rife with
So
demons.
it's basically Dark Souls in China.
Ah,
But you don't get to
but
make a character.
but it was first announced and conceived in 2005, meaning it can't be compared to Dark Souls. In fact, Dark Souls would be compared to it if it would have came out.
then
Uh,
yes, but
Yeah,
but
but the fact of the matter is, Dark Souls came out first, and so yeah.
yeah,
Like
like
here's the thing.
Duke Nukem
this looks
Forever
like
contained
Dark
a whole bunch
Story.
of things from modern FPSs that didn't exist when it was announced.
It looks like Dark Souls has sex with Dynasty Warriors.
Uh,
Uh,
and another little short one. Back
yep.
from when Super Mario Maker was first released, it has now sold over 1 million units.
Is
Making it
anyone
probably
surprised?
the single most popular Maker game uh,
Mm,
out right now, isn't it? Isn't it more popular
It's
than Little Big Planet?
Huh? That'd be an interesting question. Uh,
I like how I like the controls for how it builds, where you have to draw and everything. That's a lot less tedious than having to place them using a controller.
honestly, I'm not surprised in the least because everyone loves Mario, and everyone dreams of becoming a level designer. And so this tool is perfect for making anyone, like even with a low technical skill level, to be able to create levels for what is basically a very solid platformer engine.
Which
Yes.
makes me wonder when they are going to finally do it and make the Sonic Maker.
It's
As
never
soon
gonna
as
happen.
Sega
Imagine the
realizes they can
Hedgehog
make money.
engine. Imagine the Hedgehog engine being used to make 2D Sonic platforms and the 3D racetrack like levels from Sonic
That
Unleashed.
would be pretty neat, but
they
the
they
problem
don't
is
really
that
do really they don't. There has never really been a good consumer level editor for 3D games.
yeah.
Ugh.
Uh, I mean,
Here's the reason why I don't think a Sonic editor would actually make sense because here's the thing, right? Mario as a platformer is based on careful actions and more of like precision jumping and planning your moves as you go through the level one by one, right?
Yep.
Well, Sonic, the action is all about momentum and keeping it up and then exploring the level like from top to bottom. Because if you've noticed, right, Mario's level are actually kind of starts you at the bottom layer, right, and then you can possibly move up to an upper screen or drop down to a lower screen, right? But as far as the action on one screen goes, right, it's basically pretty flat.
yeah.
But Sonic, on the other hand, right, has lots of paths available to explore, and they can span to ridiculous heights sometimes.
All depends upon, did you jump up or did you fall down?
Hmm.
It would be harder to do for certain, but
Yeah.
if you go by things like what was made in Little Big Planet, there were some very intricate levels made in that that explored the verticality dimension as well. So if you gave the users the right tool, it could be cool. I know. Plus, I've seen some pretty decent Sonic ROM hacks too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that it is like you can just I'm not saying that you cannot just like take Sonic into pieces and then give the players the ability to piece them back together however they want.
I would actually honestly prefer if they gave you all the assets from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
the issue is
and they allow you to
plan?
build them.
Yeah. Yeah, the issue is how do they plan the editor in a way that even the biggest moron can put together a level and have it work?
That is a good
Really?
point because
It should be pretty much similar in design and concept from the Super Mario Maker.
Hmm.
In fact, it would work best if it was also on the Wii U.
the thing is the ROM hacks for Super Mario Brothers tend to be much
Unforgiving?
more bug free, to put it a better way, than the ones for the Sonic games. I think it's just because building a level on that scale is takes less work, really. I remember I had this Sonic ROM hack that was actually pretty cool. But I got to one level and they hadn't actually patched up the wall of the level right, and I went flying off into like random sprite land where everything was garbled and I couldn't get back into the level.
There's a lot of Sonic ROM hacks that aren't finished.
Yes.
Like at all.
Yeah.
I at
By
least
the
know
way-
what happened to one of them, but like,
So,
sucks.
Grim, you should screen share the next article.
Oh
And
boy.
You'll laugh at the picture.
Let's see.
Okay. The fuck?
Okay, from the title, it is called GameStop CEO. Disc-based games will be around forever.
Gee, I wonder
That's-
why they said that.
Is something GameStop would say.
Yeah,
Yes.
considering that most of their profits come from taking used games and reselling them at a much bigger markup.
Oh boy. I don't think that's quite true, especially if game systems start to have terabyte hard drives, and that starts to be a regular thing. Memory seems to be getting much cheaper, I would say, these days. To have like the more memory something has is getting to the point where because I realized that like a while ago, probably wouldn't have been able to get a 1 terabyte portable hard drive for like $50, but now I can get it for $50. Such an innovation of the future of the world. But no, anyway.
Didn't Nintendo file a patent for a diskless console too?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think
the screen.
that's I partially think that's a dumb idea because then games are going to slowly start to get a little bit more expensive unless Nintendo and the other companies start to adopt the Steam model, which would be perfectly fantastic if they did. But we don't live in that magical dream world where unicorns exist. We live in.
Well, the thing is, yeah, the CEO of GameStop has to say that though, because he can't say, "Hey, shareholders, our business model is obsolete and is going to end soon." That's not what you tell your shareholders.
No. It just seems like such a canned executive response to anything ever, which kind of makes this less news and more like an executive stating PR.
Yeah, an executive is stating what he needs to state in order to keep getting money.
Oh boy, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think the console death will take decades, says Pacter. That means that GameStop has at least 20 years to sell DVDs. I think that the decline in physical game sales hurts GameStop the least, as Amazon and Best Buy customers are far more inclined to buy online than GameStop customers, due to the latter's predominant position in the used games business.
Really, I buy most of my used games at this local, locally owned game store
Uh-huh.
rather than going to GameStop. I only go to GameStop if they don't have what I want, and sometimes online can go for ridiculous amounts.
Yeah, yeah. There's the some used games become considered rare collector's item, and then the price shoots up
Yes.
extremely high. So
Yeah, like for example, Valkyrie Profile on the PS1, which I once saw a mint copy going for 660 US dollars, and that was a starting bid.
good
Dear
golly,
God.
that's like Conker's Bad Fur Day too. Mint collector's item copies of that can go for pretty expensive too.
Oh boy. The funny thing is that currently digital sales for game consoles are way too damn expensive. Currently, uh, you can get any game that's like about 3 or 4 years old for roughly $10 to $20, but they're still roughly $30 to $40 if you're trying to buy them digitally off the console. So I half
That's
believe he's
actually
right.
that's actually not entirely true because I have seen like digital download games go on sale all the fucking time in the PlayStation Network store.
Well, not very often. Not as often as I just feel that the only way for disc consoles to stop selling would be if I mean if uh console companies start to adopt a Steam model.
Here's what I think is going to happen, right? Solid state drive technology or SD card technology is going to improve to the point where we can actually hold large games in it, and then we're going to go back to the cartridge era.
God damn it, QQ. I gotta quit doing that.
Yeah.
I'm,
So
I'm,
that means
I'm
that
so
in the near
out of
future,
it.
right? So that means in the near future, right? I really do think that we're going to go back to solid state storage for games.
It's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, uh, I think that it might just go to download again,
Yeah.
and just local storage. I don't know if there'll even be a physical medium in the future.
Yeah. I mean, like
But
I have seen like SD cards go up to 128 gigabytes, right? And
Yep.
those things are as tiny as your thumbnail. So I have to ask, why the fuck are we still using discs? Why don't we just get those things and then print and then like get those things but in ROM version and just stamp the games onto them?
Yeah, it's Mike. The issue currently right now is that it seems like a lot of companies have started to uh, completely what is it? What's the word for it? Well, their back catalog is vanishing, and they're not making much of any good effort to take care of that back catalog because there's a lot of very good PS2 and PS1 games that are just uh, very
Not being
hard to,
sold?
yeah, not being
Hard to
sold, very hard to do.
find, haven't been re-added into the store, or even if they do, there's a chance that,
They have poor emulation issues and other
or
such
even the worst
problems.
case, they've actually been pulled off because, like for example, my friend who bought a Ja- Japanese puzzle game that he thought was interesting and it was on sale. He loved the game, and a week later, the game was pulled off the store because the company that owned it went under.
Oh boy.
And
It
because the company
just
no longer exists, they can't sell the game.
I think that going into this new generation, we need to start figuring out how to take care of older products in some fashion or form. Because as much as I would like to see the evolution of game consoles and seeing how they can go and how far that games can go, I'm also quite depressed by the idea that many of our beloved franchises will fall on the wayside because companies do not believe them to be profitable anymore, and you
I
won't be
know.
able to play any of the great classics. So a lot of the audiences, especially new audiences coming to games, will be mostly influenced by most of the new stuff, which
And most, yeah,
honestly isn't very innovative currently. There's
I
not too
agree.
many games unless they're rough and indie game that's very innovative and new and wow factor or anything like that. So you're gonna
Yeah,
go get whole lot of the same shit if this continues.
that's one thing
Also,
that I worry about is
also we
on the
need to bring
preservation.
back Bubsy.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Save Bubsy for later, okay? We'll talk about him a lot later.
we're,
No,
we're
no,
just
no,
doing
no.
some
I like, I
foreshadowing. That's
like, I
all.
like, I like that every half hour we will mention Bubsy at least once or twice. That's what this stream is about. What were you saying, Kiku?
It's foreshadowing.
Yes.
But what was I? Yeah, one of the things that worries me about going completely diskless is game preservation.
Yes.
Because what do you do? Well, like right now, it's on a disk, and you can just
You rip the
read the
disc.
disk because a disk is you shine a laser on it and it either reflects back or it doesn't. I mean, we know how to read disks. When they start going onto hard drives, what do we do?
It's just it's gonna be very depressing because
Well,
a lot of companies aren't very they're either one not very interested in bringing back any of the good retro ideas, lost the code, which is still the single most absurd thing that I've often heard a lot. We've lost the
yeah,
code. We had to rebuild the game entirely from scratch and stuff like that. That is still quite absurd to me because on the internet we have people very willing to dump data mine and dump all the code and everything in a game
you
in
mean
order to
assets?
reverse engineer it to make it work,
Y-
and you're just why is it that it seems like the gamers are much more resourceful no,
Resourceful.
Resourceful.
resourceful than the companies? Why is it? Are they hiring bad coders? Are they
No,
hiring just
Well,
bad?
the issue with
well, I can
storing
answer that
source,
actually.
yeah,
The
storing.
reason is that companies are running on money, while gamers are running on their love for the franchise.
Of course.
Yeah, and the thing is how often do storage mediums change, and how often do the things that we store data on go bad? And
Yeah,
fortunately, this is getting better over time. But for things like, let's say you put you backed up all your source code onto tape drives. Well,
Yeah.
that magnetic tape doesn't last forever. Unless you refresh it every once in a while, you're just gonna eventually lose the code. Or if
yeah,
you have it on a hard drive somewhere, well, good luck getting that hard drive to spin up after it's been sitting in a warehouse for a while. Or
Or a better example, for game related. You remember that Final Fantasy VII game that you played multiple times and you decided to load up your file on your PlayStation memory card that you haven't touched in like maybe 5, 10 years? Guess what? Your
oops.
data is corrupted because it's old. And those things have a really bad habit of corrupting themselves.
Yeah, honestly, right, I think that this is a problem that can easily be solved by the technology we have today. But unfortunately, in order to be able to do this, we're going to have to make a lot of lawmakers unhappy. Basically, the idea is that every single intellectual property should expire in terms of copyright, right? In about 15 years. After 15 years, right, the game should be on public domain for, display and historical purposes, like historical educational purposes, because honestly, after 15 years, I don't really think that the game is going to make any profit for the people that actually worked on it.
Yeah, well, it's a case of the fans taking better care of things than their creators, which is
Yeah,
just kind of sad. The issue is with things like the TPP, it's actually going in the opposite direction with regards to how long intellectual property lasts. So
yeah.
with regards to fans taking better care of things than the original creators, I always think of the Star Wars Despecialized edition. Have you heard of that? There's
No,
there's some Star Wars
You
fan who
mean
took A
the
New
edits
Hope.
they did? Like,
Yeah, they took A New Hope and reverted A New Hope to before the special edition. They undid all the changes that were made in the special edition and released it
oh,
in 720p.
nice.
So here's the thing. Here's why I'm saying that the fans are taking better care of it than the creators. Do you know why they don't release an official copy of the non-special versions? It's because at the time that Lucas was working on making the re-release of A New Hope, the special edition of A New Hope, they didn't have the technology to work completely in the digital debate. So what they did is when they wanted to do a special effects piece, they film printed it and then cut the original master reels, sliced out the section that they were replacing, and taped in the section that they were replacing it with. So the master
Wow.
copy of Star Wars, the original edition, no longer exists. And
Wow, that just blows my mind.
yes,
well, on to the next thing. While Mr. Grimm is AFK, or not now, on to the nets. There's a new RPG maker, everyone, called MV, set to release actually
Me.
this month, on the
I want it.
23rd.
I want it.
Of
I
course,
want it.
Well, there
you
is one
haven't
big
made
problem with it.
you haven't made use of the one I got you though.
Yeah, not yet. I need to pick some time to just completely and utterly absorb myself into it because I really, really, really want to make a game in RPG Maker.
Yeah. Now the new one will it. Now this is a rather interesting feature with it. You can one export your game to HTML browser. That is. That's right. You can make a browser RPG, and you can also make it for Android and iPhone.
huh? That's interesting. Like a touchscreen.
Honestly, right, I think the biggest selling point is the higher resolution.
Yes.
Because one of the biggest problems with the old RPG Maker utilities is that they have a sprite resolution limit. Like, it is very, very hard, it is impossible to hack away, and it's not good if you want to play your game on full screen, and you're pretty much forced to, have the screen size scaled down to fit the resolution of RPG Maker games, and it's actually not very fun.
Say what again? Oh,
Do you realize, like, you do understand where I'm coming from, right? Like, I expect my games to be on 1080p if I have a 1080p monitor, not squished from a 800 times 600 resolution.
I want to be able to make HD sprites.
hmm
Well, this certainly looks promising. So
Yep.
you can probably do it now.
And there seems to be a better map editor and a simple event system, so that makes scripting and mapping a lot easier.
And mouse and touchscreen control for your games, and
I'm not sure about the battle system though. Classic front view or a side view, because I do know that these two battle systems will be strictly turn-based.
So it would pretty much just be, you know, Final Fantasy 6.
No, not even Final Fantasy. I mean, this isn't going to be ATB.
Oh.
Which is kind of disappointing because RPG Maker 2003 actually had an ATB system which was actually good. And then later
I'm
on, they
pretty
just
sure
removed it
if you edit
because
it, you can
reasons.
make your own active battle.
I know, but it's still kind of disappointing that they included like really crappy battle systems right out of the box. When in RPG Maker 2003, they actually had something a lot better.
That's odd. It's weird when software regresses like that.
Yeah. But yeah. New RPG Maker. I'm actually kind of excited simply because, you know, it seems interesting and very fun. And something for me to buy on the Nuts Game Maker bundle. Because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
They
there
put
is
it,
no way I'm paying $80 for this like right now because I already have VX.
so do I. In fact, I have now all the RPG Makers officially. All thanks to the Game Maker bundle and the coupons as well. And how many people here are a fan of BattleTech?
I
BattleTech
have
fans,
never
anyone?
heard of it.
You've never heard of BattleTech.
Nope.
Nope.
Never heard of it.
Well, there was a Kickstarter for a BattleTech. Yeah, that's right. BattleTech Kickstarter, and it went over $1 million in less than 24 hours.
Oh
Wow.
boy.
That's
I guess-
impressive.
I guess
Yep.
everyone else knows what BattleTech is.
Except for these people. And now let's take a look at the Kickstarter campaign and see how it's doing at the moment. Da-da-da-da-da. 23 days to go is it's at 1.6 million.
Yeah, it looks like they hit a few more stretch goals. So that means they're getting cinematic transitions, origin stories for the player character, voice acting, and a customization system for your portrait. So
Yay! That means I get to change the picture.
Let's
Yep.
see.
Do I
Harebrained
want a
schemes is
green
the developer
background or
of this
do I
thing.
want a blue background?
Harebrained schemes. I've never heard of them before.
I have, but I cannot point a finger to why I have known about them. Oh, that's why. That's
Shadowrun.
because they have made the Shadowrun games, like Shadowrun Returns, Shadowrun Dragonfall, and Shadowrun Hong Kong. So, in other words, given the pedigree of their company, right? I have every reason to believe that BattleTech is going to be a very good game.
Oh.
Now, the first one wasn't completely the greatest. It got better as they went on, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, does anyone remember the Shadowrun FPS that they made?
They didn't make that one.
Oh. But
That
didn't
was
they
a
make
completely
something else
different
that was much
company
worse?
under Microsoft.
Well, didn't they make another game that was absolutely so horrible that they actually had to apologize? When they made a Kickstarter to Shadowrun Returns? I'm
I
trying to
don't
rack my
know.
brain because my memory is failing me right now.
I honestly don't know.
Were there games in the BattleTech universe before?
Yes.
I've never played it. I've never even.
Neither have I, but I know about BattleTech. It's very, very classic mech.
Oh boy.
Very classic old school mech.
I've actually only ever
The
played.
gamers have the binary, not the source code.
Huh?
That's Rami. She's she's one of our fans. She's from Burgers and Fries IRC.
Cool. Mhm.
But I don't know. You can actually you can get the source code out of a binary if you have a decompiler and know enough about the tools used to compile the games.
In theory, usually the games are weird enough that it doesn't decompile very well usually.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wait.
Uh,
Oh.
that's
I'm
like
getting else.
Minecraft. The modding tools are a decompiler, but Notch obfuscates his code, so it is a decompiler and then a deobfuscation layer that has to be modified for each version of Minecraft. At least that's what it was like back when I was modding Minecraft.
that was
Um,
convoluted.
So,
Okay. Question. What does that mean that the gamers are only able to get the binaries and not the source code?
Well, there's three things that there's three layers. Not really three layers. There's more than
3
that,
layers.
but that sort of. So basically, up to a certain era in gaming, you did not write source code. You wrote targeting the processor directly. So you wrote assembly, and then instead of compiling it, you assembled it into a binary, and then you ran it on the system. That's like I'm talking NES days and things like that. Uh, but on any binary, you can actually perform a disassembly process. So even in more modern systems where they're writing C, basically, like N64, if you're targeting the N64, you're probably writing C code because Nintendo shipped you a C library. So you would take your C library to do all the hardware interaction with the N64, and you'd compile your C code against their C code, you'd produce the binary, and then you'd ship it. Getting back that C code is virtually impossible.
Oh boy.
So the most you can
Actually, it is impossible, but it's going to take a ton of work.
yeah, the issue is that you lose like everything. The compiler optimizes away things so that it's an irreversible process. You can get some kind of source code, but you lose all your variable names and some of the essential program structure. So it's going to be the ugliest source code you've ever seen. Now
you pretty much break away most of the game to get a little hidden nugget. Right?
You can disassemble the game even if it was compiled from code though, in which case you will get the assembly language version of the game, which is still pretty ugly, but it's better than trying to write your raw machine code. And that is usually what modders end up doing. Like this is what Star Sequence makes me think of every time I see it. Is there's a ROM hack for Super Mario 64 that's really well done, called Super Mario Star Road. Sadly, it doesn't run on real hardware. I tried it. It crashes immediately with the most god-awful noise. But it does run on the various high-level emulators. And what they ended up doing is they made custom enemies. Like they made a Shy Guy that walks, whereas in the original Super Mario 64, there were only Shy Guys who could fly. And what they did is they disassembled Super Mario 64, and they wrote their own assembly language code to make their new enemy AI and things like that. The problem with that
I
is
don't think there was Shy Guy in Super Mario 64.
They were flying around, and you could hop on their head, and it would send you into the air. That wasn't a Shy Guy. Was it a Shy Guy? Might have been. I don't know.
I didn't even know Mario 64 had Shy Guys.
It was this red guy with a propeller on his head. Maybe I'm getting enemies mixed up. Anyway, they made one of those that could walk around, and they did it by hacking the assembly and reassembling it. And part of the reason that it doesn't run on the real N64 is because of that, because they kind of they did whatever hack worked with the dev tools that they were using, and since they're developing using an emulator, it no longer works on the real hardware.
Oh boy.
So, on to a double topic.
Double topic?
Sonic Lost World is heading to PC November 2nd with 60 FPS support.
I am I am excited yet disappointed. I'm disappointed that I don't have a system powerful enough to play it. I'm pretty sure my computer can't play
Honestly, at
Sonic
this
Lost
point,
World.
I am way too fucking cynical to have any hope for a Sonic game being good
I
at this point.
I am
Well, this is
excited
Sonic Lost World,
because
which
Sonic
was a,
fucking Lost World and people can mod the hell out of it, which means a new engine for people to mod, which means more fun shit to fuck around in. And Sonic Lost World isn't a bad game. It just has a somewhat poor level design, but its mechanics
Oh,
could work perfectly well in later Sonic games. I feel like Sonic Lost World was sort of a good direction. Unfortunately, the level design and story wise, the gameplay was solid, but every other part of it didn't like fit in well. But
yeah, this was
oh,
a
so
game that
this
was
is a new
originally
port.
yeah.
So
Sonic,
this is a port from the Wii U game, right?
yeah, it's from a Wii U game. Sonic Lost World was the last proper Sonic game before Sonic Boom. It was the one where you were able to do parkour moves in the Hedgehog engine, I do believe. I am happy because we get modders to be able to build much better levels and see just how much you can get out of the parkour system in that game. And just seeing just
Or
how well
or
it plays. Hmm?
or you can get modders to replace Sonic with a giant hard dick.
Well, that too.
That goes without
But
or
saying.
Canoa.
Sonic
There.
Lost World introduced the greatest thing to ever happen in a Sonic game ever. A dedicated run button. Personally, I think that is the best thing ever to put in a Sonic game. And a lot of people hate it. For some weird, stupid reason, people hate it because my traditional Sonic games, my traditional lean the stick to make Sonic run fast, my momentum. Well, momentum's important, but I mean, uh, this is something that I feel Sonic would be perfect for Sonic in a 3D space, a dedicated run button, because there are often times in Sonic games where you have to do a specific kind of exploration to collect certain things, and it seems unnecessary to have Sonic's default ability be run if you also have parts in the game that allow you to collect things. So I think that a dedicated run button should be a permanent fixture in every new Sonic game.
That will
And
take a little bit to get used to, though, to be honest.
Well,
But I do think that maybe it could work if you like design the game's mechanics around the difference between being able to run and being able to walk. Like, for example, giving disadvantages to being able to run as opposed to being able to walk.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I feel like Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed would have benefited from the dedicated run button back then, because there was a lot of instances. This has nothing to do with anyone who just plays the games to beat them, because I'm pretty sure a good majority of people who only care about speed are only beating those games and not trying to collect the red star rings or any other extracurricular things. And I feel like a
um,
dedicated a dedicated run button would facilitate two different kinds of gameplay in the same game, especially since people there I don't think the werehog levels were that terrible. There was only certain sections they were terrible in, and I feel like Sonic is a series that would benefit from allowing people to have a bit of choice between whether they want to just speed and explode through a level or do they just want to explore it. And I feel that a lot of older Sonic games were built on that idea, because speed was often a reward, but there was a lot of platform sections that slowed gameplay to a crawl, much more so than the Sonic Unleashed Werehog stages. I feel like a dedicated run button would it just work. It will work for a 3D space. It will work exactly the way that it would solve a lot of critic problems they have where every time I hit the controller forward, Sonic just careens forward at super speed. He's very difficult to control, and I think control is more important than exploding through stages at breakneck speeds. Especially since when they first tried this with Sonic Unleashed, there was a lot of sections where the game literally played itself. And that caused quite a bit of stir for some people. A lot of people didn't like it, which is why a lot of people prefer the Sonic Unleashed engine so much better. I mean, the Sonic Generations engine is so much better because it added a little bit more control with Sonic. And one thing I've noticed is that watching gameplay of Sonic Lost World, the game improves drastically when the camera sweeps to 3D sections. A lot of critics have stated that the game was a lot better in the 3D sections, and the 2D sections were a lot tedious. You know why? Because there was a dedicated run button in place.
By the way, for the second topic of the double section, now, since they announced the Lost World port, Sega also mentioned that they will be now doing a bunch of dedicated high-quality PC ports of past Sega titles.
I want this. I want Jet Set Radio Future. I refuse to buy Jet Set Radio because I wanted Jet Set Radio Future. I don't know about any other gamer who goes like, Jet Set Radio 1 was the best one. No, Jet Set Radio Future was the best one. To me, personally, it was the best Jet Set Radio game I played. So, I don't give a shit about your feelings and whatever crap you go.
But don't you understand?
Well, this is nice and all, but this would have been good news for me if Sega would actually let me buy their games here in Hong Kong.
Don't you understand the concept of love?
I mean, seriously, I'm happy that Sega's doing this thing, but why do they hate my money?
It's because
I think Sega has a hard on for American audiences. To be fair, a lot of their games are already like natively
American.
At least some of their more bigger franchises tend to be natively already translated to English in some shape or form. Like and that's just them as a publisher. Like Anarchy Reigns, when it first came out, the game was already fully translated in English. That's something they do.
But on the plus, wow, this is something that is actually quite exciting because one of the games that they mentioned about, like one of the things that could be possible for being ported to PC is Bayonetta.
Yes,
we know how we love our Bayonettas.
Dude, if
I think that's just speculation at this point. But if either of the Bayonettas come to PC, that would be incredible.
Bayonetta, Anarchy Reigns will be perfect for PC. I'm gonna be real with you, right? Because that game has online multiplayer aspect that would work on PC. At least from what I played. It's online only too, so.
Yeah, for me, the games that I most want to see ported to PC are Skies of Arcadia, the Virtual On series, and Virtual Fighter.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, imagine Virtual On Ontario Tangram on the PC. Like you have like multiplayer battles. It's like playing fighting games, but with mechs. That would be fucking awesome.
I would need online Virtual On in my life. I would need it.
And there's also Skies of Arcadia, which is one of the best JRPGs ever made. I mean, seriously, space fucking pirates.
No. The U.S. in general needs more 3D fighters like that. Like the Gundam Versus series should have been here.
Oh yes, the Gundam. The Gundam, like the Gundam battling series, where you play as the Gundam mechs,
I think those
and
games are
battle with other
FGC ready
players in
too.
the CD.
I think those games are like FGC ready too, even
You
though
know what
there's
else would
like
be
arena
nice to
based.
see? Gain a PC port with high quality and such. Shenmue.
Oh
That
God.
they should just import the entire Dreamcast library to the PC. All right.
Yeah.
Shenmue would actually make sense to generate hype for the next one.
Exactly.
Oh yes, that would be fucking perfect.
And Fantasy Star.
Uh, oh yeah, Fantasy
Sonic
Star
Colors need to
Collection.
be on PC too.
Actually, Fantasy Star is already on Steam right now, but it is like a emulated wrapper game from the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
They should just make a Sonic Colors HD and just like update it for the Hedgehog engine. Don't change anything, just update it for the Hedgehog engine.
Have you
For it.
have you seen what Colors looks like playing at high res?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, it's
Like
gorgeous.
like imagine that in the Generations engine with much higher textures and everything. Like you've seen the Planet Wish stage in Sonic Generations.
That was
Just
gorgeous.
imagine that. Yeah. It just seems like a game that of all the games that need an HD port, Sonic Colors seems like a game that really needs an HD port. It seems like something that
Yeah. Or even
should
better,
capitalize
Sonic
on.
Advance on the Generations engine.
Oh
Ooh.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's I wish that Sega would decide to remake at least one a classic Sonic game. I don't see why that isn't. Oh, it just seems.
Well, that was the thing with Generations. Is that what made me want them to do that with every game?
Yeah, it seems
That's what
like
it was like.
it seems like they should like pull the whole treatment other companies do and just like do a full-fledged remake of like, I mean, why not remake the entirety of Sonic 3 and Knuckles in the Hedgehog engine?
Yes.
Because they
It
would get
would
them to
cost
redo
money.
all the music.
Yeah, they would have to redo
Oh,
all
of
the
course
music.
they're
But
gonna have to redo all the
it seems
music.
like it's the least ported Sonic game, and it seems like a opportunity that they should get on.
Yeah, as long as they don't remake Shadow the Hedgehog as another fucking multiplayer-oriented FPS, then I have no issue.
Hey, I have so much faith that the Hedgehog engine could even make Shadow the Hedgehog a good game.
I'm not so
yeah.
sure. Like Shadow the
Yeah.
Hedgehog,
Well,
I don't know. It's like
onto
they're trying
something
to-
else.
Part of the
Something
Shadow the
else, since
Hedgehog
we've been
was
kind of
just
talking about Sega for a while.
Oh
So-
boy.
Square Enix has trademarked Saga Scarlet Grace in Europe.
What the hell is Saga Scarlet Grace?
That sounds like a Japanese RPG word salad.
Yes, it does. It's
Oh,
apparently
apparently
the
they have an
latest
ongoing series called the Saga series. So this is suspected to be another entry in that.
Oh yes, I have to say this though, they better put Kenji Ito as the composer for this game. Otherwise, I'd be very disappointed.
I don't,
You don't know who Kenji Ito is?
not top of my head.
What would we recognize the work from?
Let's just see. He did work for a lot of the Saga games.
A lot of the what?
Saga games. By Square Enix.
I haven't played any of the Saga games.
I haven't played any of the Saga games. But I can understand how that having the traditional composer would be ideal.
Yeah, and he also made the original soundtrack for the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy version of the first Seiken Densetsu game, Final Fantasy Adventure.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So I really hope that he is on the helm for composing the music for this game because, yeah, I think it's just very very fitting.
So here's
aside from that,
something.
there really isn't much to say about this announcement since it is Square Enix's usual style of giving so little information about an upcoming game and then tell you to stay tuned for more info.
Yeah.
And giving their games absurdly weird and long titles.
Yeah.
So, the next article is about a game I think Grim here might have a laugh at and or enjoy. I shall
Gender
read the
bending
title of the article.
yaoi.
Gender bending yaoi game Witch Boy Magical Piece now on Kickstarter.
It has really shitty art.
I agree.
Yeah, it kind of does. But I thought that you might have get a laugh out of the Witch Boy yaoi thing.
I have standards, Kota.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't think you
Seriously,
would.
the artwork.
Seriously,
The artwork looks like it.
Just because I have an unabashed love for boys in dresses does not mean that I will eat anything up with
Well,
I didn't
Yeah.
think
then
you
again,
would
I mean,
you would just like
do ha-
the concept, but you wouldn't actually enjoy it.
you do have to look at how popular Toho became, and then look at what the original Toho art actually looks like.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
But here's the thing, though. The Toho games were never ever about the artwork. It is pretty much about the gameplay. Like Toho started off as a bullet hell shmup, right? So you could pretty much forgive Toho for having bad artwork, but this is a visual novel, and so having bad artwork on a visual novel is pretty much a death sentence. I mean,
Yes.
seriously, have you looked at the artwork? It looked like the artist fell down the DeviantArt tree several
All right.
branches before becoming an artist.
I was actually going to make a deviant art joke too. We should probably show the viewers what the artwork looks like so they know what we're talking
Okay.
about.
I will.
It-
I will do.
all do the YouTube video because it's guaranteed not to contain anything that YouTube doesn't allow. So
Even then, they won't be able to hear anything.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It
we're
doesn't.
just showing off the artwork so that they know what we're talking about.
It's more important to add our commentary while the
Yes.
video is playing.
And of course, it is a Kickstarter. Well, it is a Kickstarter for the localization.
Yes, it is.
First of all, they took
Humanity,
pictures of the
food of
backgrounds
mysterious
instead of
creatures.
drawing them, which is probably an easy way of selling that they are very, very lazy.
Yeah, this is extremely fucking lazy. How are they even
This is
selling
ripping off
this? What
Sailor
the
Moon,
fuck?
definitely.
There might be concept art still, maybe.
No.
This is a
This isn't
finished game.
concept art. This is
This is a
laziness.
finished game. It's a Kickstarter to localize.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Ugh.
Kickstarter to localize it. Wait,
Yes.
why would they pick this game to localize it?
Because
You're right, those are just photos with a filter applied.
Yes, yeah, I was saying they're just photos of backgrounds. That's such a lazy thing to do.
The line is the lines that they're using are very unusual because they're not of consistent width. Like for the
Yes.
outlines, the inking that they
I
did,
became a witch.
it's very unusual inking style.
Yep. And also the shading is all over the place. It doesn't actually show the overall form of the characters.
Yeah.
It's very flat looking.
Indeed.
Especially when you contrast their faces to their clothing. It's very off.
It's like, you know how you go and commission an artist and they have different tiers?
Yeah.
It's like they commission the tier that's not the best tier and not the second best tier, but like the flat shaded with some highlights tier.
So basically the DeviantArt here.
Yes.
I wish Gender Bender visual novels would have actual interesting looking and cool art and cute characters for a Gender Bender cross-dressing game. I'm getting so sick of the crappy shoujo.
Okay, pause it for a second. Now we have a comparison between. Darn it, you paused it a little bit too short. I was saying, so we have a comparison with what the character normally looks like and when they transform.
Uh-huh.
There you go. They look nothing alike at all.
No. Is he wearing a
No.
thong?
Yep. With a heart-shaped hole in it.
Ah, interesting.
Okay, from
It would be hotter and better art.
Okay,
with a bigger bulge.
Mentioned that they
Yeah.
turn into female witches.
Well,
That's
That's the gender
disappointing.
bending.
That's kind of disappointing. Why is it called Boys Love if they're turned into female witches? Now it's just Yuri. It's starring
That's why I
dudes.
said it needs a bigger bulge.
That's such a disappointment.
Yeah, but
Why
if it's,
even?
but then if they added a bulge, right, it would be a Futanari game now, would it?
That's so
Hmm.
disappointing.
I know.
Here's what's bothering me. It seems like a lot of gender bender games as of late, visual novels, have been very crappy shoujo art style
Mhm.
for the Yoi fangirls artwork that is so
Yaoi.
popular with the traditional shitty yaoi art. You know, the crappy wispy look,
Yowie, the
the
purest
the
of all.
the crappy wispy look of the characters, the incredibly anorexic anatomy, the, the weird proportions, big
I
hands.
know, right? Like, why don't they? Why do they have against beefy gay characters in their games?
It just seems like a lot of other art styles aren't being utilized because these games are
Yeah.
being built for a
And
female
I mean,
audience.
my point is, right, you do need to have like a variety of body types in order for this to be appealing. I mean, like you should have like fat man, skinny man, effeminate man, very manly man, very muscular man. You
Yeah,
know,
like
men of all shapes and
that's
sizes.
that's what Honey Pop did, right? They had
yeah,
all types of gals, all shapes of gals.
I'm
Yeah.
not the largest fan. I wasn't the biggest fan of Honey Pop's art style. I mean, I
Me
don't know.
neither,
Maybe
but
I'm just a minority here, but I guess
no,
I'm.
I don't like it either. But then again, I'm not the target audience for this thing.
So I have noticed
I got specific standards basically.
I have noticed when browsing Pixiv that the art styles for yaoi are very different. I wonder what there must be some kind of tradition behind that. Like
Yeah,
the styles used for yaoi are in and of themselves different.
then the
uh
ones used for Yuri or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It must be something cultural that's flying over my head because I'm
It's
too.
definitely cultural and definitely a play on how the Japanese people view gender roles.
Yeah,
And mm,
that would be an interesting thing to actually like study. Like,
What?
mm,
hmm?
Japanese gender roles.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Well, we
and
all know
how they come across
what gender
differently in their
studies
art.
says about Japanese. They're
Yeah.
all
Oh
misogynist.
my god. No, let's not even bring Anita up.
It just it just
Ah,
seems like how can I put it? Uh I guess I never got like I remember when I first came out, and I guess I finally was much more comfortable reading things like yaoi manga and stuff and all that. And a lot of times I would get recommended a lot of very lame stuff, but it was kind of all I had for the time being. But a lot of the stuff wasn't. I could tell that a lot of the stuff wasn't for me. It was
Uh-huh.
for a female audience because I remember my friend donated a lot of his manga to us, and I ended up grabbing a crap ton of yaoi manga from him, and it was very, how can I put it? A lot of yaoi manga was very shitty. It
Well,
was
you're
uh, it was
I was going to
erotic.
say,
It was erotic, but you never seen any penis.
well,
oh,
you're not
Barely
exactly
seen
the
any
target
penis.
audience. Shockingly.
yeah,
Penetration.
yeah,
What's
I
the
think.
point of having sex scenes if you barely see any penis?
well, one of the
Here's the
things
thing,
that
though. Can I guess? I think here's the thing, though. It's kind of like the difference between having lesbian porn that is designed for men and lesbian porn that is designed to appeal to women. And I think that there is also this kind of disconnect here, in that the yaoi that you just got given were pretty much yaoi mangas that were targeting women instead of men.
And
Yep.
apparently, I guess they like the love and the making
Yes.
out part, but
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess the penises are like gone.
The penises need to kiss.
It's not gay unless the balls are touching,
There's
after all.
literally like extremely hot sex scenes happening in this manga, and it's all happening like somewhat slightly off screen or something like that. Even though it's clearly a yaoi manga.
Yes. That's the thing is it's written more as if it was a romance novel than if it was So
I want
that's what the
hard,
focus is going to be.
hard, messy, uncomfortable dicking. God damn it. People got hurt, alright?
Apparently he likes it when there's a little bit of prolapse.
God.
Okay, moving on.
So, hey guys, did you know the PS4 got a $50 price cut?
Lowering it to $350 or 430 Canadian dollars. The new price will become effective beginning tomorrow, October the 9th. That means that is, let's see, yesterday.
Ooh.
So,
$350. I still don't know. Back in my day, right? Consoles usually sold for like 199 and at most 250.
Well,
Yeah,
that was
but
back
with
in the day when they didn't have a
Yeah.
DVD player attached to them.
With
And also
inflation,
internet connection.
it might all add up. It depends how back in the day is. And then again, if you go back in the day, there was also things like the 3DO, which was
Oh God. Yeah, but the PlayStation 4 doesn't suck now, does it?
Yeah, but you're paying less for it than you would for 3DO, especially if you adjust for inflation.
Well, to be fair, right, back in the day we also had the Neo Geo, which is a fantastic console, but my God, it costs an arm and a leg.
My family had it 3DO.
Oh, it had some good games and then some really bad ports.
Yeah.
It actually had one of the better home ports at the time of Dragon's Lair and Space Ace. Because Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, when they tried to make an SNES game, they just basically completely made a totally new game that, well, at least Space Ace, they just made a totally new game that was not Space Ace at all.
They pretty much cracked up a turd and shattered on the SNES cartridge.
Yes, but on the 3DO, Space Ace was Space Ace. It was pretty much exactly the same as the arcade version, with a little bit of visual degradation. And some of the scenes would cut off a little bit earlier in order to save space, but other than that, it was Space Ace. So, but most of what was on the 3DO was ports of things, and
I do know Gex was a game that they had. They played a lot.
I actually have the PC version of that.
Speaking of which, Gex is on sale right now on GOG.com, so you should check that out.
Gex.
And no, we are not paid to say that.
Next podcast, Gex.
Yep. So, apparently, the voice actor union for video games, the video game voice actor union has authorized a strike.
Yeah, this has been going on for a while.
This is not going to affect gaming at all.
Yeah, well,
I know.
the change
It's
here
just
is
going to
that
have games with different voice actors, or none at all.
the change here is that the strike has actually been authorized now. Before it was just a threat to strike. Now it is not a threat anymore.
You know what I say, right? Is that if they are demanding a royalty for the game, which the programmers don't even get, on top of the very very high salaries they already have, And honestly, I would say good riddance to them. Let the industry open themselves up to new and fresh voice actors because
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of them are just washed out Z-list actors that can't fucking act for shit.
There
And
is
by the
one more.
way,
Yeah, there is one more
I'm
step
I'm
before
not
the.
breaking my neck to hear them in games.
Yeah,
yeah,
there is one more step before the strike actually happens, though, and that is the national board has to declare it a strike. This just means that the national board actually has the option to do that now. So until that
Uh-huh.
happens, it's not actually a strike, and voice actors can continue working on games.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Companies aren't
and
going to budge on this especially because they're asking for things that the developers can't even get themselves.
Yep.
Well,
like
here's the thing:
royalties
Basically,
is
based on units sold.
here's
yeah,
something that
this,
the tech industry would absolutely crap its pants about is the idea of its developers unionizing. If they
yep,
give in to the voice actors, then they're going to start seeing unions crop up among the developers, and that's absolutely what they do not want. So I can't
yep,
picture them caving at all.
yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and all in all, I would say that this incident is pretty much a bunch of voice actors, like trust fund voice actors, going more privilege to
Yeah.
the game like companies.
So
And
it's stupid. It's really stupid.
yeah,
And there's a lot of people who are like, I guess trying to say like, oh, voice actors are so important and stuff and all that. And all I'm thinking is, no.
they are
In
asking way too
actuality,
fucking much.
it might actually screw the game companies if they go with voice actors' demands.
Yeah. And honestly, right, I think that they're asking for way too fucking much. Like, they're not only just demanding royalties, but they're also demanding residuals and stunt pay for more demanding recording sessions. So, in other
Yeah,
words, they're asking for the salaries of an A-list actor celebrity, while they're like going into the voice acting industry as C or D-list actors or less, seeking a career in voice acting. They don't
It's
have
yeah,
to
and
it,
even also
you,
ask for
the
that
master of
much.
unlocking, can unlock these lots with this lockpick.
Yeah.
the only people who are going to be crying over this are all the artsy types that will complain about not having the right voice actors to
Yeah.
portray their game or some bullshit like that.
And yeah, and if
Well,
I have to say, yeah, I have to say that this is like just a load of nothing. Honestly, it's just like
Yeah,
lots of privileged actors, voice actors, asking for way more than they deserve,
yeah.
and then they're gonna be throwing a tantrum over it. This is going to be interesting to see how much they fuck themselves over
Mm.
if they do decide to strike.
on a somewhat humorous note, on the uh, Dragon's Lair, the studio voiced the voices for Dragon's Lair because that's
Yeah.
all that they had. So we might see
Yeah.
that going back to that again, just having whoever can speak into a microphone be the voice actors. That would be interesting because you might actually find some talent just sitting around the office, and then
Yeah.
that would be hilarious.
Some of the most popular voice actors have been nobodies
Uh huh.
as far as games are
And on
concerned.
another hilarious note, we're going to move on to the next article. Double Fine veteran Brad Muir lives for Valve.
That's right.
Brad Muir of Double Fine fame recently announced that he will be leaving the company this coming Friday. So where is he ending up? He posted over on his Twitter that he will soon be joining Valve this December. For those unaware of his work, he played a pivotal role in the company's history, from being a programmer for Psychonauts to a lead designer for Brutal Legends to becoming the project lead for Iron Brigade, Brazen, and most recently Massive Chalice. It's unknown what his next project will be with Valve, but hopefully we'll learn soon enough. You know when I say good, because this guy is pretty much like the engine of Double Fine, and considering how shitty Double Fine has been treating its customers lately, right? I'm pretty sure that Brad Muir has been becoming fed up about it and joining Valve
Yeah, well,
and together. And you know what? This is a good thing because, well, he'll be given his own reign to do stuff that he wants.
Yep.
yeah.
And who knows? Maybe he will help Valve produce Half-Life 3.
Well, that's the thing I was gonna bring up is Double Fine seems to always have this issue, right? Where they run out of money and run out of time, and they end up releasing the game earlier than they expected, without everything that they wanted in it. So if he goes to Valve, he's not going to have that problem anymore because Valve
Yeah.
basically prints money with Steam, and Valve operates on Valve time, so that's not a worry for them either.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what
What's the
else comes.
last game Valve has made?
I don't fucking know.
Was it Portal
Left 4
2
Dead 2?
or Left 4 Dead 2?
I find it pretty funny that you can't even like get a straight answer on this question. But yeah, honestly, right, the biggest problem with Double Fine is pretty much Tim Schafer, and I don't think that Tim Schafer is going to be leaving Double Fine anytime soon. So I think that the best possible course of action for anyone working in Double Fine, if they're fed up with the whole way the company has been run for a while, is to just leave Double Fine and find a better company.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, actually, the last two latest games they made was the Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Wait,
Yeah,
isn't
well,
Dota 2 made by a satellite team and CS:GO made by Turtle Rock Studios?
yeah, that's why I didn't remember those. But
Developer is actually Valve Corporation.
Oh. Maybe they got absorbed by Valve, and so that's why it shows up as Valve.
Yeah, probably.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Dota 2. They own it. They make it. There. And speaking of old com- speaking of old companies and all that from earlier, SNK is rumored to leave the pachinko business.
So they can make
Which is
room for
the
Konami.
which is the smartest thing they've ever done so far. Which makes me even more disappointed the way King of Fighters 14 currently looks. Have you seen the gameplay to it? Have any of you seen it?
yeah, we talked about this a couple of
Yeah.
podcasts ago. Yeah.
And
Maybe
looks
they
like
should
It's
take
like a
their
very glossy PS2 game, and that
yeah, maybe they should take their
worries me.
pachinko engine with them when they leave the pachinko business and turn it into the
Yes.
actual engine.
Yes. It just seems like very much so something they need to be doing.
I find it
So,
weird that Konami's moving into the let's make more pachinko machines arena, while SNK Playmore's moving out of the let's make more pachinko machines arena. It's somewhat coincidental.
they made a sequel to Fatal Fury on the Pachinko, I do believe. Pachinko.
Why
But
is it with Japanese companies and pachinko machines?
because
the only
it sells shit, it prints money.
Because pachinko is the only legal way you can gamble in Japan.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Let's see. This is actually a pretty bad news. Let's see. The retail version of Shovel Knight for Xbox One is cancelled, further devaluing the Xbox One.
Yep.
Mhm.
And on top of that, the physical copy for Shovel Knight for the PS4, they had to increase their price because the original $20 automatically puts them in the bargain bin.
Uh-huh. Let's see. We really gave it our best effort, but unfortunately, because of publishing policies on that platform that are totally beyond our control, in other words, Microsoft being fucking cunts, we couldn't make it happen. Yacht Club Games explained, "We are very sorry. We know that there's a lot of interest. The pre-orders were really good and we thank everyone for their support." Well, here's a question. If they are already taking pre-orders for this game and it's cancelled, does that mean that they will have to refund the money? They have to, do they?
Probably if you don't have the console that they was pre-ordering it for, And if you pre-ordered before the price increase, they're honoring your pre-order.
Oh,
Where you don't have to pay the increased amount.
Mm.
But hey,
It only just cements the fact that I am not in any way, shape, or form interested in getting an Xbox One. Wait, isn't the Battletoads on the Xbox One?
no.
The 360 one then? Oh, not the Xbox One. It's on the 360. Okay.
there is going to be Battletoads on the Xbox
Let's
One.
see.
What? It was going to be it?
I said there is going to be Battletoads, I believe.
No,
No,
I'm
it
talking
already
about
is.
the Battletoads boss fight.
Oh,
If you're talking about Rare Replay, they already have a port of Battletoads, the original,
Yeah,
in Rare Replay.
yeah.
and it's for Xbox One.
No. What I was saying is that Battletoads is a playable boss fight in Shovel Knight.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that that was readily apparent. I mean, it's a boss fight. Wait, and it's been canceled on Xbox One? What a waste!
yeah. They are also raising the
Yeah.
price of the Vita version, I think.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you already pre-ordered Shovel Knight at $19.99, your retailer should honor the original price. And finally, YCG confirmed that all retail copies of the game will come with a free download of the game's OST. And honestly, I
That's
think it
cool.
would be worth it just for the soundtrack because honestly, like the soundtrack is just amazing. Like seriously. If you haven't listened to the Shovel Knight soundtrack, you should go and listen to it right now. It's in their Bandcamp, and you can just listen to it as you wish. And if you want to download it, you can buy it off their Bandcamp store.
Wait, wait. Okay, hold on. So the news is that Battletoads was canceled on Xbox One.
No. Shovel Knight.
Yeah, should not Shovel. Yeah, Shovel Knight was canceled on Xbox One.
Yep.
But this is a gameplay video of Battletoads boss fight.
The retail
Shovel
version.
Knight.
So you won't be able to get a disc in a store.
Oh, okay.
Uh.
It's the digital version that was canceled.
No. The digital
The
version's
retail
still
version.
on. The retail version is not on. You will
Oh.
not be able to get a disc.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you really wanted to have a disc of Shovel Knight, I suppose is a terrible loss. But you know,
Still though, Shovel Knight is a great game, and you should all play it because, wow,
Yes.
I haven't had that much fun in an NES style platformer in a long while.
So, the
Hmm.
next article, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth gets a PlayStation 4 retail edition in Europe.
So in other words, while the Xbox One gets less reason to be bought, the PlayStation 4 gets an even more reasons to be bought.
yes.
Because this is actually interesting, like Digimon and cyber sleuthing.
That
That's
sounds
kind of a
up my alley.
pretty interesting premise.
It's it's a very cool looking Digimon game that looks very grown up.
Mhm.
It may
Yes.
contain things that are not for children, which is great for Digimon to decide that it wants to be mature.
Yep.
I talked about
Honestly,
this. I talked about this regularly about how much I enjoy the more teenaged version of Digimon
uh,
compared to the younger version. This is something that I think further sets it apart from Pokemon, even though in
I
reality Digimon and
agree.
Pokemon were very much not exactly alike at all.
Yeah, they
But
are
this is
very, very
such a great
different games.
idea.
Yeah, they were very, very different beasts even back then.
Hmm. So I like this direction. Unfortunately, the reason why I'm not too excited for a new Digimon game coming out in the U.S. is that who is
It
the
comes for a
current
console with Game Pass.
holders? Who is the current holders of the Digimon license?
4 kids.
Saban.
Uh-huh. Is that even
And
worse?
if that is just about that's as bad. So you know. But
Oh.
uh
The art is really good.
yeah.
Like every
Um
single still frame looks like it's actually was drawn.
mhm. And uh if you know anything about the Digimon Fusion dub, you will know that this
Saban is terrible.
this could be a bad idea. But if they just allow Bandai Namco to just localize it and just have a bunch of anime voice actors, we could have a very decent looking game.
I
Yep.
don't think Saban owns the rights to the video games.
I have a feeling this scene will be cut. Look how
So,
old her shirt was.
That game is gorgeous. Holy crap.
Yeah, yeah, for the PS4.
Wow. Beautiful.
So, in case you already don't have a reason to get a PS4, I think this is one more reason to do so.
Yes, we need more grown-up Mon games.
I
I
mean,
want
seriously, I'm
Pmon.
not. No, seriously, I'm not like. It's not like I'm shilling for the PS4 and like shitting on the Xbox One, but it's just that Microsoft keeps fucking itself over, and as a result, they keep losing game deals. Like the retail version of Shovel Knight. Well, the PlayStation 4 is just trucking along and getting pretty good titles released on it.
Mhm. Well, on to the next thing.
Can
Shin
you link
Megami
it?
Tensei 4.
Next time, link stuff. It's
I already
easier.
did.
Mm.
All right.
I've been linking.
Okay.
You just haven't been
Ah,
paying attention.
finally a Shin Megami Tensei game that isn't fucking Persona.
What's wrong with Persona?
Nothing. It's just that we got too inundated with it over the years, and then we're kind of left like really really missing a back to the roots Shin Megami Tensei game.
Yeah.
Now, this one is called Shin Megami Tensei 4 Final.
I
I
have
honestly
I
doubt
have
this
a
thing is a
strange journey.
final.
I have strange journey, but I haven't touched it or played it
Uh,
yet.
oh, it's
I
for the
stare at
3DS.
it.
God
So
damn it!
everyone knows when you put the word final in a game title that it's going to be the last one ever made.
No, that was never true. that is
Yeah.
never true at
I mean,
all.
remember when the tagline of Halo 3 is to finish the fight? Well, guess what happened? We had like Halo Reach, Halo
Oh,
DST, Halo 4, and an upcoming Halo 5.
What
Oh
about
boy.
Final Fantasy?
Oh boy.
Oh God.
it's now Final Fantasy that never ends.
Uh,
The fantasy never ends.
So, anyway, the new details being released for the game is takes place in the year 2030X. The Britain destruction brought
of
on
course, there has
war.
to be an X.
Yes. While it
In the
prevent the
future.
destruction of war of the gods that erupted 25 years ago, the sky was blanketed with a massive rock to hide from the outside.
Oh, so this basically the premise of the game is basically a nuclear winter at the aftermath of the massive war that erupted 25 years ago. But with a little bit of supernatural thrown in there,
With
angels and
angels and
demons.
demons and all that and gods.
Yeah.
Because Shin Megami Tensei is the name of the game.
Uh,
And here's a little description of some of the casts. The protagonist, voiced by Hiroshima. The protagonist works as an apprentice for an organization known as Outlaw Hunters. While on a mission, he's attacked by a demon and tragically dies. Mysterious Demon, voiced by Suchi, can't pronounce it. Following his death, the demon forms a contract with the protagonist after finding him wandering the underworld. This grants the protagonist a new life and the ability to call demons. So, okay, I'm not 100% familiar with the original Shin Megami Tensei series, but is this sort of a first where you actually get to call demons? As in, you are a demon summoner and not just you get power from whatever?
No, I think that the early Shin Megami Tensei games also has you like befriending the demons and have them fight alongside you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more familiar with the Persona series,
Mhm.
where you have a creature that you get power from to represent you and use its power to fight for you.
You know, I'm actually kind of surprised that Pokemon never like ripped that idea off because that would have been pretty cool.
Oh, this is a new Shin Megami Tensei game. The last Shin Megami Tensei game was in 2003, Nocturne. So this is like a legit Shin Megami Tensei. I thought it was like based
Yes.
off of
Persona series?
no, based off of the ones that are on the DS.
Oh.
I don't know what ones he's talking about, so whatever.
And well, and
Wait,
here's
no, no,
another
no,
good
I'm
news.
wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
here's
wrong.
another good news on this game. Development on Shin Megami Tensei 4 Final is roughly at 90%. In other words, the game is almost complete and should be expected to ship to the stores in Japan on February the 10th.
Or Nintendo 3DS.
Yep, 3DS.
Oh, oh. Which one do I own currently? Which one is on? Which one is? Give me a second. Oh
It's the
boy,
3DS.
I have because I barely touched it at all. I have Shin Megami Tensei 4. I should play this then, and since the final's coming out.
Hmm.
I probably should just boot this up and just like fuck around in it and see what happens.
You need to study for the final.
Yeah, I got the game that this sequel is based off of. I guess I might as well just boot it up and dick around in it.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of things being dead, for the Nets article, Darksiders 2, Def, ni, ni, yeah,
Definitive.
Definitive Edition.
Definitive. Like the TH is pronounced like an F.
Definitive.
Definitive
Wow.
Yeah.
Edition is launching on October 27th. So, those of you who have played the Darksiders series might be interested in knowing that the developers that worked on it has finally returned and actually went up and repolished the game and balanced some stuff and addressed things that they've gotten feedback they was never able to actually fix.
Mhm.
And it all comes with all the DLC and all that. That was taken off the console stores.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Darksiders.
I think this will be a great upgrade for console players, although for the PC version, I don't see much justification if you own it and all the DLC on the PC to get it for the console because it is basically just a graphical upgrade. And considering how good Darksiders 2 already looks, right, it's not going to make that much of a difference. But I would
Well,
say
it's also
that
a
the
bug
biggest
fix.
draw of this repolishing is the rebalancing of everything
Yeah.
that's in the game, which
I'm-
should be pretty interesting to see. But I'm not sure that I would pretty much spring for it immediately, especially considering that they could very well fuck it up.
I'm just glad that the franchise landed somewhere that actually cares about it after the closure of THQ. I was
And
worried
actually,
about that.
Now, that actually mentions that it was the original devs that worked on it that are doing the definitive edition.
Yeah, I was worried that Darksiders was going to be one of the properties that didn't get any TLC after THQ closed down, but it looks like that's not happening. So that does provide me with some, excuse me, some encouragement at least. I'm happy
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah, one of the things that really drew me into the world of Darksiders is that at least the first game, right, is basically Legend of Zelda on the PC.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I want to play Darksiders, but I can't run it!
Oh my
Ah!
god, you poor bastard.
Oh god, I got both of them. I think I have both Darksiders.
Man,
Right
you
now,
really need a better
on my
computer.
Well, Fuzztail, you know what you need to do. You need to buy him a new computer.
I just got the first one.
Well, if I don't know.
If
I need
anyone
to
gets
make
a code
money.
for Darksiders 2, send it to me. I just
Well,
first got
well,
on one.
viewers, you know what to do. Once I set up my Patreon, you should all donate to me so I can afford to get Rocky a new computer.
Yay!
Are you sure you
Yes.
wouldn't want to
Make sure that Rocky's donating to you too, because that's how Patreon's supposed to be used, right? Everyone gives money to everyone and to each other.
It's free money for everyone.
I'm gonna make a dedicated Patreon simply for this podcast.
By the way, are you sure you really want to do a Patreon recently? Since
Oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah. With all the bullshit that's happened, I kind of been iffy on
Honestly,
even
I don't.
continuing on mine.
Honestly, I don't like. Aside from the hack, right? I don't see any like real issue in here, since a lot of the problems that cropped up before the hack has been. Let's just say that the artists have brought it upon themselves by putting in such a shitty fucking business
now I'm
model.
talking about a new hack, a
Yeah.
actual information leak
The
hack,
Vince hack, yeah.
and it happened again.
Yeah, they had a full blown
Everyone's personal information, basically an entire database dump was leaked.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Honestly,
I-
I'm not worried about it.
well,
As long as you change the passwords immediately, then you really shouldn't have much to worry about.
y- y- well, unless it depends what was in the data dump.
Yeah, but who's going to bother to look through all this information? I mean, it's a big fucking dump.
Well, this here has the full names, the addresses, the credit card info.
Does it have credit card info?
I think it does.
I thought the credit card info was missing, but everything else was there.
Okay,
Uh,
then.
Yeah, the credit card info should be encrypted.
It should be, but yeah, who knows? The basically the thing is though is unless they figure out how the breach was performed, they might not have patched it yet. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know why there wasn't credit card info. It's because they mostly use PayPal.
Oh yeah.
So if you're using PayPal, there would be nothing in there about your financial information. All your personal information would be out there though. So
I'm not really
So-
worried, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure quite a few people remember the Polygon article of what the fuck is wrong with video games.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Now, quite a few sites have actually done their own take on the article and addressed what was said.
yes, I read what's his name? Adrian Camirlage. I'm butchering his last name as usual. I read his piece on that.
And well, I only have really one article from Tech Raptor, and that was what the fuck is wrong with video games? Because last week figured, hey, why not talk about that little topic?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The interesting thing is so the WTF is wrong with video games article was not treading any new ground. This is stuff that's been discussed for over and over again for ages.
Yes.
You can even I found a copy, a perfectly legitimate copy of Edge magazine from the early 2000s where they're already talking about exactly the same issue. So it's kind of weird that it crops up over and over and over again.
What the fuck wrong is with video games? Video games have gameplay. This is bad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's gameplay
Gameplay
versus
bad.
story, and every once in a while people come down really hard on one side or the other, and this was just them. This was just a guy coming down really hard on the side of story, that the story is the most important, and that if the gameplay's in the way of the story, the gameplay needs to change or just go place, but just not in the game. So it's not a new concept. It's retreading old ground, and it was doing it in a very provocative way. So yeah.
Yeah.
I. What am I supposed to say to this that I haven't already explained? Other than the fact that this article is stupid, and I'm sure many people know it's stupid. I've spoken to many people on all sides of the issue, and they know it was a stupid article.
Yeah, of course it
Uh,
is.
the this mentality that you
Video games need
are
to
that
act like as
you
if they were
that
movies.
that gameplay is somehow hindering your ability to enjoy a story. You are the problem, and obviously the issue is if the gameplay is hindering your enjoyment of the story, that's either two things: either you don't know how to play games, you don't get games, or the gameplay itself is just bad.
Like, it's a really, really awesome story, but this game is so badly made that it just is frustrating to play.
Games are
That kind
video
of thing.
games. That's what they're about.
Hmm.
Just seems so absurd.
Yeah, and like if they're arguing that video games negatively affect a person's attitude, right, then they're doing narrative transfer theory wrong because like the whole theory is pretty. It really does like has to talk about. Well, the narrative transfer theory is basically the theory that whatever you consume as part of culture, like videos, books, movies, music, games, right, will affect the way you think, like for the rest of your life. But here's the thing, though, like the human mind is such a complex machine that there really is no definitive way of predicting how a piece of entertainment can affect the mind.
And, well,
This is less about affecting the mind and more about a bunch of
Yeah,
lazy,
yeah.
snippy people who can't
his central
play
premise
video
in the excerpt in
games.
the article was basically that uh, games games cannot are games are art when their story is good, and if
Yeah.
games don't have a good story, then they're not art. And if game and one of the reasons that games don't have good stories is because the mechanics get in the way of the narrative that's being told in the
That's
story in the
bullshit.
game.
Yeah,
And
to me, I think that is very, 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 very small-minded and myopic because, like, yeah, here's the thing, right? He is looking at games from a much more traditional medium perspective. In other
Yes.
words, he's seeing games as another thing about art, like giving as visual art, like trying to, how do you call this, model like what is seen as artistic in a video game after like the other mediums, like movies, books, video games, visual art. When in reality, right, games are a very, very different medium. Like the most important part of a video game is interactivity and player agency, right? And if you get the mechanics right of a game, then I would consider that to be art because that means that you've hit on a system that so well engages the player and that they want to keep playing even though the story is very, very lackluster, bare bones, or even nonsensical. Like yes, I agree that game storytelling does need a lot of work, has a lot of room to improve, but just because a game does not have a good story does not make it art.
I actually remember this was hearing a debate about that, and They even bring it up in the TechRaptor article itself that what makes games different from the previous entertainment mediums is the gameplay, and that the gameplay itself can be a form of art. That the set of systems and mechanics that make up the gameplay.
There's
in
no
the-
Yeah.
candidates. There's no candidates. It is.
That's like saying picking up a chair is a form of art, or or opening a door is a form of art.
And well, going back to the original article, which was the Polygon one, that as an example of what he thinks destroys a story and gameplay mechanic wise is he takes Gears of War for example, and when you reload, you get the frustration, yada yada, and then you have this one little moment where if you press the trigger at the right moment, you not only reload faster, but you also deal extra damage.
Yes.
Oh no.
And
And he
because you
says
deal
that-
extra damage, you ruined the game's story. Because how do the bullets magically do more damage now? That doesn't make any sense. You just ruined the story now.
But the mechanics
You
does make
ruined
sense.
it being art.
Yeah, it makes every reload a little mini game, which is entertaining. But I mean, if you want, I could get pedantic on you. If you really want to say that, if you pull off a reload flawlessly and you reload faster than you did in your training, that could give you a little bit of an adrenaline pump, which makes your accuracy increase slightly, which over time is what causes more damage, right? If
Or you
each
can
bullet
say
hits,
that,
then
or you can say that the magazine is chambered so well into the gun that it pretty much optimizes the explosion and the resulting gas expansion that propels the bullet in a much more faster and much more destructive way.
sure, that sounds good too.
Yes.
And
Now to turn that mechanic on its head, right? What if you get a critical fail on a magazine reload?
you have to reload slower.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that it's not enough. I think that there should also be a very like a big risk of failure to feed or jams or stovepiping in a gun when you fire it.
You mean the chance of the gun blowing up in your face?
No. A chance that a gun is going to fail to feed or stovepipe when it's firing.
That reminds me of Stalker.
Yeah. Like I think it would make a pretty good mechanic. Like if you chamber the magazine into the gun like poorly, then the gun is going to perform poorly as well.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like there is a way to try to fit imagination, like use your imagination to fit gameplay and storyline. It just takes a lot of imagination to do so. And if there's one thing that the gamers are good at, it's like exercising their ability to imagine things to make things make sense. Because, as we all know, suspension of disbelief is a very, very powerful narrative tool.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is if you look at going from books to movies, right? Movies don't tell stories like books do. Not only that,
What?
movies don't tell stories anything like real life is either. The way that a movie presents a series of events is nothing like how real life series of events go down either. But we're able to suspend our disbelief because it's a movie and we expect movies to perform in a certain way. Games are still growing up as a medium, but they are capable of telling stories, and we are still capable of suspending our disbelief. And there are completely different expectations for games than there are for movies, just like there are completely different expectations as there are for movies between books. It's just they're different mediums. How they present things is going to be different.
Yeah.
Ultimately, right, it all boils down to Polygon doesn't understand that video games are different from movies and books, and therefore misogynist.
And also, they really, really suck at native advertising.
Yeah.
Well,
By the way, I'm actually adding a new section to this thing called open assignments, and it's gonna be pretty fun. So look forward to
When
that.
shall we talk about the open assignment? Then.
After we're done with the furry stuff, which is at the end.
Okay, well, we got a few things from Loot Gamer to look at now.
Uh-huh.
First thing I liked. New localization for another game.
Sekai Project Awa. Let's see. Sekai Project announces more localizations at AWA. Okay.
So here's a website that we can never screen share. Just warning you.
Yep. And the tags here is Alien Works, Darekoi, Eroge, Highway Blossoms, Japanese School Life. Let's see. Anime Weekend Atlanta, also known as AWA, took place this weekend in Georgia for its 20th year. The convention runs for 4 days over the course of the long weekend and is the 8th largest anime convention in the U.S. It is here where the Sekai Project has announced even more titles that they are localizing. The AWA has some pedigree, playing host to animators, artists, filmmakers, developers, and more. Every year, the AWA holds contests for costume designs, fashion shows. So yeah, cosplay, which is pretty awesome.
The art in this is
Concerts.
really bad.
Concerts.
You mean the art's in multiple games, because this is multiple
Yeah,
games.
which art is really bad?
I was looking at Dungeon and Maid. Are we on a
Yeah,
different topic?
No, it is not.
You're-
The topic, no,
you're
this
ahead of us.
article is about, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Wow,
going
that's
ahead
a
of
lot
us.
of games.
Th-
Yeah.
This has multiple games. This company called
Sekai Project.
Sakai Project. Yes, I don't know if they're a company or what, but they announced that they're localizing multiple games, none of which I have ever heard of, and all of which have completely different art styles. So, let me get you a link.
I got the link.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do not screen share this website.
Not unless you want us to be flagged.
Oh, okay, here's something interesting. Sekai Project has also revealed their very first original IP at AWA, titled Japanese School Life, which is about a foreign exchange student living in Japan. Ooh, how original.
Yeah,
This
I actually
title
like.
will be released in spring 2016. You can check out the trailer and details further down, along with all other announcements made by Sekai Project. So yes, what do you think?
I actually think the absolutely massively eyed art style that they used for that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very generic.
It's very
anime.
moe.
Yeah,
Apparently,
Yeah,
it'll come out
it's-
in spring.
Oh
of
my
next year.
god, those eyes are fucking huge.
yeah, they're massive.
Yeah,
Very
and
low.
I have to say they're incredibly derpy because of how low they are in the head shape.
Yes, they are very low on the head. They're almost on top of the cheekbones.
Yep. So it actually makes them look more like anthropomorphic sockets than faces.
I don't know. For some reason, that makes it look really cute to me. Maybe my brain's just wired up wrong.
It's
Maybe
because you're a male. That's all.
What are you talking about?
a male cis lord.
Japanese school life.
So let's see. Darekoi visual novel style games. Takes place in mystical Oriibu village. Shares its name with the world at large. Let's see. Darekoi follows Yumesaki Haruki in their return to the village and surrounding areas, a place where time stands still and the air is filled with nostalgia. The area has prospered for some time and has continued to do so, seemingly without end. So where's the conflict here?
Probably you find out later.
Yeah.
Well,
Which one are you reading?
Highway Blossoms, developed by Alienworks.
first I was reading. the
Highway
first one.
Blossoms is a Yuri story set in the picturesque American Midwest. After a discovery is made surrounding the discovery of, wow, 2 discoveries in one sentence. Nice. Of an old miner's journal, a national gold rush craze kicks off as people try to crack the code to the hidden treasure. Amber, one of the leads in the story, isn't interested in gold and wanders the roads in an inherited motorhome reeling from the loss of her grandfather. While drifting, she meets a young hitchhiker named Marina, and the story unfolds.
That seems like a whole bunch of completely unrelated plot elements all thrown together.
Yep.
Wow,
Yes.
it sounds like a typical Yuri Japanese visual novel.
Yeah. Well, here's the question: is this Yuri written for men or for women?
I want to say probably for women because it doesn't sound as going to be sexual.
Well, you have to look at
Ah,
the art style.
The
Is
art
the
style
art
says it's for
style
women to me.
is the
Uh,
art style overly moe?
No, it's
no.
it uses very very thin lines, uh, and smaller eyes than in the other ones that are actually, and it has actual noticeable noses too. Surprise,
Mm,
Oh,
surprise. So
so then it's
yeah.
it's for the ladies.
Mm. And then we
You
have
sound
Yume.
disappointed, Graham.
And then we have Yume no Soda, which follows two dreamers, Iris Marinari and Tomi Reika, as they attempt to escape the inanity of the real world and instead pursue others. Stranded in the ocean of time, the two meet each other on the outskirts of a ghost town, the legendary city of the Lost Ones. It had been said that one cannot cross the barriers to the city alone, so Iris and Reika must work together if they wish to make any progress. The two girls will try to find the truth as they uncover the secrets that this strange city has to hold.
well, that is an unusual plot.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
And
mystery.
there's two more games.
Yep,
Here's
Wagamama High Spec.
here's another one with absolutely absurdly massive eyes.
And massive tits too.
Yep, this one's probably going to be a little bit porny.
Yep, Wagamama High Spec is a little sexier than the previous entries. Yeah, a little. That's an understatement. And follows the story of a student and his second life as a romantic comedy manga author. Okay, this is gonna be a harem anime. I can tell already.
Harem anime visual novel?
Yep. And here's the wording. This wording
Yep.
is very telling. Stuck in a sticky situation, he bends to her will and joins the student council in exchange
Sounds
for her
like
silence.
fandom.
Uh-huh.
In exchange for her silence. Each member of the
So,
council has their own unique
yeah.
talent and skill, while
Mhm.
some may be more relevant than others.
Oh,
Like, okay, how much are you willing to bet that the sticky situation is him being caught masturbating?
Oh boy.
uh,
Uh,
I'm
and
sorry,
for
but
the
this is
last
like
one,
very, very obviously a harem anime visual novel game. So I can't help but make fun of it. Alright, here we
uh,
have the Orchard of Stray Sheep. Developed by Namaage in Japan, the Orchard of Stray Sheep centers on Yamada Ichiro, a negative and self-proclaimed piece of trash. Oh boy. Yamada finds
Self-proclaimed
herself
piece of trash.
appointed.
Sounds like
So basically,
sounds like
yeah,
a fun time.
Yamada
finds
finds
himself
herself
a
appointed as the tutor of an innocent and naive girl, Casserole. What? That is actually the name, Casserole. Will he
Casserole.
eat her? Will he eat her?
I guess that pun was irresistible to me.
what's safe to
Why?
wait in this
Why?
small and secluded island academy.
Uh, that
So,
hurt to read.
so if you want to be someone with low self-esteem, then that's the game for you, I guess.
So basically, a
And
neat
I'm pretty
simulator.
sure most of those games are for people with very low self-esteem.
No,
so
but in this one, the
I,
player character is someone with very low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Oh.
so I,
Well,
I
actually,
started playing.
I have to say that if anything, right, this lineup is kind of interesting. Like we have a kind of a short story about hope and prosperity, a story about love while being on the road, a story of mystery, a story of
Sex.
masturbation, I guess, and one about
Censorship.
someone who thinks they're a piece of shit being appointed a tutor of an innocent and naive girl.
And then what
Yeah.
about
I don't
Whoa!
even know.
Well, that sounds like something that could go south very poorly. Someone with low self-esteem with a very timid, what? Girl?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Sounds kind of,
That
rapey.
that's a very cute rabbit you're displaying.
Oh boy. Okay, so this like in-house project is called Japanese School Life. Is the story of an exchange student who, by circumstance, has found himself in Japan. How? Anxiety and excitement alike envelop him. Okay then, competing with one another to come out on top. Two young girls, Chiyoko and Arisa, are local high school students that are due to spend time with you during your exchange. Okay, wait, what the fuck is with this sudden tense, tense verse, I don't know, pronoun change? Like, first you are talking about an exchange student, right, in third person, and then you are taught, and then the article is talking about the main character as you.
It's a visual novel, so I can somewhat accept
You
that.
know, I'm taking that this article is pretty shoddily written. Okay, you'll be able to find out all about them as you adventure, including their measurements. Oh my god. The game is currently in production as of this writing, and will be available in spring 2016. Oh
Yes.
They
boy.
all will be available in spring 2016. So, on to the next Ludi game is
Uh-huh.
Dungeon Maid.
A game that looks
Oh.
incredibly ugly.
Okay, let
Their
me take a look.
proportions are so awful. They
They're
have
not
very thin calves, leg like pencils, and their body just kind of balloon
Uh,
outwards or
well, you'll
downwards.
be interested to find out that the tags for this is called action, BDSM, bestiality, big breasts, and demons. And one of the things I noticed is that proportions like these right
Hey,
seem to crop up a
let's
lot
fail.
when it
Let's
comes
fail.
to bestiality porn, like drawn
Let's fail.
bestiality. Yes.
You forgot the last one around the bottom.
What?
After monsters. You forgot the last tag after monsters.
Let's see. No, in here it's called action, BDSM, bestiality, big breast, demon. Oh, there's an arrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
After
see.
monsters is Megafilm.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that got dark in a hurry.
Because you're getting
Which is
fucked
why I
by
have a
mummies.
picture of bunnies licking each other. Well, a bunny licking another bunny.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, I guess there's also war, so they kind of go together.
Uh, so, anyway, this game looks like a very kind of someone's first attempt at a porn flash game with platforms.
and
Yeah.
it's really bad looking. This art is really, really bad looking.
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
think
that
I
keeps
don't think
bothering
it's
me about it is that the background elements are sized larger than the foreground elements, and that just seems to bother me.
yeah.
I don't know why. That
What
Yeah,
bothers
like
me
like
is the
that.
proportions of the characters.
I mean,
They
like look at the screenshot on top of the article. I mean, you like take a look at the platform that is like just floating above the acid pool. Do you see that, right?
a platform loading what?
Floating on top of the acid pools.
Are you talking
Yes.
about the money or are you talking about the girl?
No,
No,
they
like
mean,
the platform, the wooden platforms.
I'm assuming that they're meant to be extensions from the wall behind it.
Yeah, but it looks fucking nothing like the extension of the wall. So it just looks like it is floating.
Yeah.
And I have to say that looks very, very much like a Kusoge. That's very, very much a Kusoge game design
The art to
in
this
terms
is
of
really bad.
aesthetics. Yeah. Let's see.
Well,
So this
here's a game
game is
with
a
better looking. Here's a game with better looking art.
okay. I guess it's yeah. There's too much words in this. I'm not even reading it
And
out.
I
It's just,
don't even bother in it. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
Oh! What do I have to do to get this?
Ooh, Arcana.
What do I have to do to
Arca-
get this? I'm putting this on my wish
Arcana Heart
list.
3, Arcana Heart 3 Love Mats will be on Steam.
I want
Oh,
this
I've seen
game.
this on Steam, and it actually looks kind
I
of interesting.
I almost bought this on PS3, but
Mm.
I just didn't because it was stupid. But
But
I want to get
my
this on
friend has
Steam.
this on. Yeah,
Yeah.
my friend has this on PS3. It is very fun. It is
I
a
want to get this.
fighter with an all-female cast and also customization of abilities with each character, as you can pick this elemental you can have to represent your powers and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my wish list and hope I
So why
make.
is this considered lewd?
Because
Because it's a moe game with lots of moe girls. I don't even think the game has like upskirts. It's just very, very. I guess it has fan service, but it's like very
it has a
tame
little
fan
bit
service.
of fan service.
Yeah.
in
Let's put it this
between.
way. Vanguard. Have you ever heard of Vanguard Princess? That is
Oh, yes, I have.
way more pervy than this game.
Mhm.
Also, it has some
It has some
pervy.
lollies.
Yeah. Also, it has some pervy artwork you can unlock.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
see. Oh, nice. It has full game controller support, as well as Steam trading cards, cloud support, leaderboards, and it's 10% off until the 6th of October. Well,
Oh.
whoops.
so
That's
they're
a bit
actually doing a proper
cheap.
Steam release for it then, with all the integration.
Yep.
Which already passed, so it's not 10% off anymore.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's only $3 more, so I kind of think it's worth it. Like, it is.
Yeah.
It looks like a very
I-
solid fighting game.
I will get this in the future because I've been collecting like literally every 2D fighter that's on Steam, and I love
Uh,
booting up a good 2D fighter just to and get awesome at stuff.
My favorite character to play is the dog girl ninja.
Yeah, she's I like her too, and I also like the a girl who fights with a giant pool of water.
Wait, is that?
mean the
Are you
slime?
talking about Arcana Heart?
Yes.
Okay, you got me at Dog Ninja Girl.
Yeah, it's the dog ninja girl.
Yeah, I hope she plays like Ibuki because Ibuki was pretty awesome in Street Fighter 3. I mean,
I
that's
guess
all I have
there's
to say.
fan service moments, but this game is tame. I've seen all the sprites and stuff and all. This game is very tame compared to.
Okay, here is the list of
reference?
the modes that are available for this game. Story mode, after story mode, in other
Tame
words,
enough for me
New
to show
Game
a trailer.
Plus, survival score, attack mode, trial mode, time attack mode, versus mode, training mode, replay theater. Ooh, this game's gonna have replays. That will be nice. And many more. Also in the gallery mode, you can unlock event CG illustrations and link animations, and view the Angel short stories. Wow. This game has a lot of neat extras, I have to say.
Yeah,
It is a special purchase bonus.
To be honest, right, I think that the best feature of this game is the replay because that is I think that is one of the biggest reasons to get a to play one of the biggest reasons to play fighting games is to show off like your performance in a match.
and that also means more finished characters on Mugen.
Oh God! Why
No,
is
no,
Mugen-
seriously, I just realized there's so many like 2D fighting games coming out on Steam that now it's much easier to rip the sprites and make Mugen characters out of them.
Oh God! Why is Mugen even a thing? That
I had a period where I had Mugen and I had over 700 characters.
Me
And
too.
It was the funnest thing ever. You can if you have friends, Mugen is fun with friends. Not quite as fun alone.
I know, but the thing is that the community for Mugen, especially the creator community, is so fucking awful. Like, they really go after people if they like take a character, right, and then decide to share it with friends openly.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I don't know
seriously.
anything about that.
Like they call it warehousing, Warehousing is where it's like people aggregate all the characters that have been released from Mugen so far, and then put it in a single website so everyone can download them all in one single place, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, they
People
got
actually
animated
went after,
borders.
yeah, people actually went after those people doing those for because they're jealously guarding their creations for some dumb reason. Even though a lot of these characters are basically recolors and redones of SNK and Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, well, they have the same type of thing with the Minecraft modding community, where they were having these mod packs, and then people were going after them for the mod packs. They actually had someone write up this thing called an "It's My Stuff" license for Minecraft mod packs, which
Oh,
basically meant it was you can't do anything with my mod except download it from my website.
I
uh,
forgot to.
Well, I have to say though, if those licenses are not legally binding, then you know what? Fuck them. Seriously, fuck them. Like the reason why mod packs are a thing is because it gives like server administrators like an easy set of mods to work with, just to start. Because Minecraft mods don't actually have a good history of working well with each other. And
yep.
so I have to say that mod packs actually take a lot of effort to produce because it takes a lot of testing, it takes a lot of code modification in order to make them work well with each other.
The crazy thing with mod packs is they're demanding that their intellectual property be respected while violating
Intellectual
Mojang's
property.
intellectual property. You're
Yeah.
not technically supposed to reverse engineer Minecraft.
Whoops.
Notch just looks the other way and doesn't care about it, or not Notch anymore. Microsoft, I guess, these days. so, so yeah, I mean,
Is
it's
the
kind of
game is
odd.
the game still screen sharing?
No.
Nope.
Accidentally,
Alright, next article. High School DxD Neophyte and Senran Kagura.
fuck it.
And it's a crossover. Let's see. Big breasts, etchy, free to play, high school, DxD Neophyte. Idea Factory. Okay, fuck this game.
Why? Why?
Because it's Idea Factory, that's why.
Oh God.
Yeah, like seriously, Idea Factory has been infamous for taking like really really interesting game premises and turning it into the most boring and grindy ass shit ever. Like, have you played like the Generations of War Agarest?
Yes, I have. Very,
Yeah,
very, very grindy.
yeah, and it's like painfully grindy. So let's see.
And on top of that, it's also the kind of grindy where you have to do it within a time limit if you
Oh
want
god.
the good ending.
Okay, so this is not a good sign. Like the first few words in here is not a good sign. The free to play, yes, free to play.
Oh boy.
PlayStation Vita game that is all about stripping the lovely ladies. Okay, yeah, this is like very, very exploitative. Ladies of the High School DxD series, High School
On sale.
DxD New Fight,
Are you saying
had
this game
received a
is
crossover
problematic?
event with Henan Kagura Estival versus. Yes, you read that right. Two of the most
So,
prolific series dealing with beautiful and curvy women are finally together for a sexy crossover event.
Too
It's an
bad
event.
it's a shitty free to play game.
It's a limited time event.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
High School
So-
DxD Neophyte players will be able to get their hands on a special collab cards featuring the voluptuous High School DxD girls dressed up as Senran Kagura characters and Senran Kagura shinobi donning clothes of the Devil Girls in return. If you
Yeah.
can avoid fantasizing for just 1 minute, oh fuck off. You could read about the exciting details about the event courtesy of the Japanese publication Gamer. Okay, so the event is called Shoujo Tachi no Sentaku. Okay, so what is exactly this event about?
It's a promo event for a free to play game. I'm not.
Well, what is the free-to-play game event about? Is it just stripping the characters?
exactly what you think it is. Exactly what
school-
you described.
I suppose
Oh,
this is a
God.
Japanese thing. It's a Japanese
Oh god, that means Idea Factory isn't even trying with this one.
Nope.
Nope.
thing. There's no need to try.
Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but seriously, Idea Factory has been infamous for making Kusoge games, And this is the perfect example of why.
Well,
The artwork is decent though.
yeah.
Yep.
Next game. Can't really say much else about that other than it begins October 9th and ends November 5th.
Noxian Knights,
That
League
is.
of Legends, Noxian Knights.
It
Oh, Rule
is
34.
It is a Rule 34 game. That's actually
Oh.
a new. I've never. I don't know if I've ever really seen a Rule 34 game before. That is.
I am not sure if Riot would want this floating around on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Riot ends up sending a cease and desist on this thing. Like, I have nothing against this idea, but seriously,
Oh boy,
you're running the risk.
Well,
it's
already
made an
fixed.
RPG Maker,
That is
Yes.
an absurdly
Meaning-
large bust, by the way. Like,
And it looks nothing like League of Legends too, so there's that.
meaning it could vary in quality from being incredibly dog shit or
Yeah.
creative.
I have to say though, those boobs look fake. Very
y-
fake.
yes, they're as large as her
A lot
head.
of the art assets are RPG Maker
Yeah.
art assets too.
Yeah,
So-
that's not a good
Okay.
sign.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the game is currently only available to backers of the Patreon that pay about
Yeah.
$50.
hmm So basically, this game apparently is centered around the character Riven, which is a ruthless and efficient warrior in a League of Legends game. But in here, she dresses up like a hooker. I don't get it.
I don't get it. Looks lame.
Yeah. So let's see. Riven tried a blue blade with energy and strikes. Yeah, good luck with that outfit of yours.
This looks lazy too.
Yeah, the artwork isn't actually that good. It looks like DeviantArt tier pillow shading.
Oh god, I hate.
Yeah.
Another game with kind of crappy art after this.
Yes.
God damn it, Koto, where do you find this crap?
All new game. All new game.
Is this what we have to deal with? Shade Gamer.
Oh
there were a lot
my-
better articles I
God.
could have talked about today.
Oh my god. Look. Oh my god. the
Oh
artwork.
my god!
The artwork. Oh my god. It's fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. Look, those boobs are not even.
Oh
I
my
even-
god, this is terrible.
Those aren't boobs. Those are helium balloons stuffed in their chests. And look at the faces. They aren't even drawn well.
Oh good Christ, the anatomy, everything
Okay.
is bad.
The concept
And
is
here's-
disturbing in and of
And here's the
itself.
kicker. Okay, here's the kicker about this article. The title: Mogi Origins demo lets you get raped by pumpkin girls.
Okay.
Raped by pumpkin girls.
Yes.
Yep.
And mushroom
And
balls.
it
I
is
actually
a
think that
very
that's all we
bold-
need to say about this one. I mean,
It is a very shitty looking beat 'em up, with scenes where the main character that you play as gets raped by girls dressed up as various
Anatomically
vegetables.
Incorrect girls.
Yeah.
And you know what? It doesn't even the quote unquote rape scenes don't even really look.
You know what? Let's just move on. Fuck this
Oh,
game.
good
Let's move on with shit.
He's just lying on the ground. He's just
Yeah.
lying on the ground as a bounce on him. He's
Yeah.
prone. He's completely prone. It
Yeah,
looks like it's the
seriously.
same drawing both times.
I
I've
know.
seen better scenes from.
Why
The
are
Legend
they
of
covering
Crystal
this game
Fan
again?
games.
It is absolute dog shit. Well, let's move on to something a little bit better. The ESA trashes UN cyber violence report. Oh, this is a big one.
Oh boy. Isn't the ESA the people responsible for the ESRB?
No.
no.
I could be wrong.
I think isn't what is the ESA? Let's look it up. I thought they were like a lobbying group of some kind. The
I think it's Electronic
Software
Electronic.
Association.
Yeah, Electronic Software Association. Yeah.
Yeah, but what are they? Are they a lobbying group?
I guess in a way you
Uh,
could say so.
yeah. I-
So yes, in late September, the UN Broadband Commission released a controversial report on cyber violence and the harassment of women online. This report has stirred up quite a furor, from its questionable conclusions to its inclusion of certain controversial figures in the gaming world. The reaction to this report has been notable. Many had said that the report calls for censorship as a way to prevent women from experiencing online harassment, while others feel these are absolute necessary steps. Okay, which sane people with a functioning brain think that this is a good idea?
Are we? Well, I was gonna reference Arthur Chu, but I'm not sure. Uh,
Go ahead.
He is not sane and he is not smart. So, yeah. While the report focuses mainly on the aspects of cyber violence against women, of course it has to be only focused on the women's. The report also roundly criticizes the pornography industry as misogynistic. Yeah, okay, that lost the plot. Like, just definitely,
well,
like it's
they also lumped illegal sex trade in with sex trade in the report. So
it should be of great concern to those in the world of adult gaming. Okay, who the fuck, who the fuck let Andrea Dworkin in the UN? Seriously, this is like 1980 all over again. Like during the era of radical extreme feminists
yeah,
calling all men evil and porn harmful to women.
yep,
I mean, Jesus Christ, I thought we went past this long ago.
Violent, degrading images of porn. Violent
Yeah.
images of porn. Oh my. Too much smacking in this porn.
There is a well-known statistic that 30% of all internet traffic constitutes porn.
There's far too much thrusting going on here.
Well, there you have it. The biggest reason why the push for, the view that porn is misogynistic is right here in your face. If 30% of all internet traffic is porn, that means that at least 30% of the internet is misogynistic, and therefore it gives crazy third world feminists a phantom enemy to fight against.
I'll be real. If these people wanted non-violent,
Yeah.
if they got their way, it would suck.
Okay.
I'll be real.
Research also reveals that
Non-violent,
88%,
mental.
88.2% of top-rated porn. Well, okay. Here's a problem. How do you define top-rated porn? Like, you need to be more transparent about this. Top-rated porn scenes contain aggressive acts. Okay, define aggressive.
yes.
And
Well,
94% of the time, the act is directed towards a woman. Well, of course, because 94% of the time, a woman has a vagina where a penis goes into it.
Yep, and it's the most
Yep.
violent act.
don't
I
think
mean,
too much about
that's
this.
like the most common thing to happen in porn. Is,
Oh God.
a penis going in a vagina.
Bless you.
That's what most people want to see in porn. So, furthermore, studies show that after viewing pornography, they're only talking about men. What about women? How does porn affect women? Men are more likely to report decreased empathy for rape victims. Oh, fuck off. Have increasingly aggressive behavioral tendencies, report believing that a woman who dresses provocatively deserves to be raped, report anger at women who flirt but then refuses to have sex, report decreased sexual interest in their girlfriends or wives, report increased interest in coercing partners into unwanted sex acts. Okay, citation fucking needed.
Good luck getting any citations out of that report.
Like, seriously, where is the research that supports this thing? I mean, like, Jesus Christ, this is a lot of accusations and nothing to back it up.
By the
And
way,
this is why it
just
was
in case if you didn't
projected.
realize, the first part that you've been reading is the report that the UN released. The bottom half is the ESA's comment about it.
Yeah,
Well,
so the ESA's response is mainstreaming of pornography does not mean that the exploitation
no,
or abuse of women.
that's still from the report.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh,
ESA's
mainstreaming of
response is way below
pornography
that.
does not mean that the
the
exploitation and abuse of women
sarcasm.
used in the making of pornography has decreased. Oh God. Instead, as a result of competition among sites, the percentage of violent, misogynistic images has been steadily increasing. Well, if you consider all porn to be violent and misogynistic, then of course you're going to see it this way. Sites are attempting to lure customers with increasingly graphic images. Well, duh. What is new is the volume of pornography that is being made, and that the average person with a computer modem. Wait a second.
Yes, they said
Modem?
modem. They said modem.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus, are they? Yeah, they really are stuck in the fucking 80s.
But
Okay, yeah.
yes, David Arbach, who is a writer for Slate, put out a tweet where he basically says that the creation of this report was outsourced to a company who knows nothing about tech. So,
Ah, fucking course. And search engine can find more violent, degrading images within minutes than they could in a lifetime 15 years ago.
yep.
Well, of course, because the internet pretty much exposes you to pretty much everything. And you know what? It's not just porn and that like porn that is violent towards women that you can find on the internet. You can find porn that is violent towards men. You can find violence against all other sorts of people, right? On the internet, especially in the darknet. Like the darknet is pretty indiscriminate in who it exploits.
Well,
So this is just all a load of horseshit.
yeah.
And
Uh,
on to the ESA part.
Yep.
well, I should bring up what they also said about video games, which isn't addressed here. They said that video
All
games
right.
are turning boys into mindless killing zombies. So,
Yeah.
Oh
that
my god.
that is the type of report that we're talking about here. Oh yeah, and what they cited with that was they cited a paper that said that Pokemon was
File
a
colon
killing
slash
game for
back
toddlers.
slash C colon slash users slash owner slash downloads. Of course,
No,
it's in the downloads folder.
no, they
PC
actually
Research Report 2015.pdf.
no, they
Okay,
actually
then.
cited a source that was available online from 2001, but it was available online, and in it it said Pokemon is a killing game for toddlers. It also said that D&D is leading people to practice Satanism. It said all of those things. So yeah, it was a rather interesting citation.
Yes. So,
So, on to the criticism.
yes.
The ESA has released the following statement on the report. Can anyone else take this? Because I'm getting a sore throat from this.
Sure. The UN utilizes outdated and debunked opinions on video games. October 6, 2015, Washington, D.C., the Entertainment Software Association strongly criticized opinions and outdated research on video games in the new report from the United Nations entitled Cyber Violence Against Women and Girls. Specifically, the United Nations report utilizes hyperbolic, outlandish, and outdated notions of video games and gamers. The ESA is a trade association representing the U.S. video game industry. That's what they are.
Okay, that makes
Suggest
sense.
what they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
The report cites an opinion article written in 2000. That's right, 2000 people, which is rife with antiquated views from noted and debunked anti-video game figures, including Landon Landon Landon
Linden.
LaRoche and his wife Helga Zepp LaRoche in the
Okay,
UN
okay,
Sources
okay. I had to
material.
say, what the
Yeah.
fuck kind of name is Helga Zepp? That is like a alternate name for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. The UN Sources material cites Zepp's work, The Mark of the Beast, America's Children Are in Moral Danger, in which she mistakenly reports that children as young as 2 abuse digital entertainment. Medical professors specifically have declined repeatedly to
Pathologize.
pathologize video game use. This is uninformed, misguided, and unfortunate report If the overall issue was not so serious, it would be laughable that the UN is citing this work. It is woefully ignorant to utilize such incredibly outlandish and outdated data.
I
ESA
agree.
strongly supports empowering women and minorities and creating an inclusive digital entertainment that welcomes all perspectives. However, the UN does this important issue a great disservice and undercuts its credibility by spreading ridiculous stereotypes and false opinions. Numerous medical professors, researchers, and courts all have debunked the fundamental thesis of this argument in tearing down similar faulty research. The U.S. Supreme Court specifically ruled that pathological studies perpetrating to show a connection between exposure to violent video games and harmful effects on children do not prove such exposures cause minors to act aggressively. Yeah, take that, Jack Thompson. ESA offers a wide range of services to interactive entertainment software publishers, including conducting business and consumer research, providing legal and policy analysis and advocacy on First Amendment, intellectual property, and technology/e-commerce issues, managing a global content protection program, owning and operating E3, representing the video game interests, and federal and state government relations. This statement is very encouraging if positions of this report were to be taken seriously if the positions of this report were to be taken seriously and acted upon, it would have dire implications for gaming.
Yep. So the ESA sounds to be a bit like the MPAA in that respect, then, except that the ESRB is the ESRB related to the ESA, because in movies the MPAA handles both rating and being like the industry group, whereas this one it sounds like they may be separate entities. Although I'm not, don't quote me on that. Anyway, it's reassuring to hear that the ESA is on that side of the thing, because they're going to be the ones who are talking to the important people about this issue. So
Uh-huh.
that's reassuring that they are calling it out as being BS.
Yeah.
The
Well,
ESRB
after all,
is a
the ESA is about.
self-regulatory organization that was established by the Entertainment Software Association. So yes.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So it basically is like the MPAA for games.
Yeah.
I know that I've disliked some of the things that the ESA has advocated in the past, because they generally advocate for things like DRM and things like that, because they're the equivalent of the MPAA for games. But in this case,
Well, I have to say that they don't advocate it as strongly and as virulently as the MPA does for movies.
yeah, really, yeah. Well, we're at this weird stage where even the RIAA has backed down on the whole crazy DRM thing, and the MPAA is the only one left being insane about it. So
Yeah, well, of course, because Hollywood.
yeah, of course.
Someone has to feed those washed-up celebrities somehow.
And their Coke addictions.
Just fuck wow. Like, that's all I have to say to the UN report. Just fucking wow. Like it is like a stupidity bomb of Hiroshima proportions.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to read through all of it because I'm afraid that I will become stupider just for seeing it.
Someone needs to issue a report on the harmful effect that this report has on its readers.
But yeah, the UN report has been taken down and is being revised.
Oh boy. Yeah, the revised version came out. It's 8 pages long, and only 4 of those pages are actually the report. So it went through a considerable
It's even worse
reduction.
than before, is what you're saying?
Huh? No, it's just nothing. It changed from being something to being nothing.
Yeah, okay.
which is probably
Well.
a good thing considering when it was something, it was really bad something.
Now, since we finished New Gamer, that means we get to move on to Furries.
Oh, and boy, do I have a topic for you. So first off, before we go into any of this, right, we need to familiarize ourselves with this game, Space Funeral. It is a game that is a deconstruction of RPG and horror genres, and
You mean
it
Super
follows the
Space
story
Funeral
of
4?
a sad man clad in pajamas and his companion, a horse made out of legs, in a world of interesting features and characters, and with a plentiful abundance of blood.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a game that you should really experience yourself because it is quite something else.
This is a RPG Maker horror game.
Oh.
No, it's not a horror game. It's pretty much a deconstruction of RPG and horror genres.
Yeah,
Well, it says...
the genre it says it's in is RPG slash surreal. That's not a genre I've really seen before.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. So now, like knowing this, right? It should be noted that there is someone who is making a remake or slash sequel of this game called Super Space Funeral 4 Blood Red Edition and Bubsy. Now I'm going to put this video up here and you can be sure to share it on the stream because it's actually quite clean. Like this timestamp is about the period where Bubsy starts to appear. So go take a look and show it off.
What am
Why
I
is there-
looking at?
Yeah. Wait a minute, is that a giantly fat rarity? With
Yep.
boobs?
Yep.
What am I looking at?
It is basically Space Funeral, the world of Space Funeral, but with better graphics. Just keep watching.
Okay, we need to put this on the screen for everyone else, in case we haven't.
Yeah, who's gonna put this on the screen?
Okay, give me a moment. Where's the link again? There it is. Let me break it out into its own tab. Give me a moment. And then I will. The only issue is because I'm not the host, I can't exclusively share. So I'm gonna need to make some noise in order for it to focus on me. Give me one moment.
Where is Grim anyway?
Well, why not Rocky do it? Oh yeah, his computer cannot handle it.
His computer can handle presenting. He's been doing it all the time.
Oh. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay then.
I just don't know where he went.
So hopefully, if I keep talking, then it'll keep focusing on me. I don't know if that's true or not, but hopefully it is because this is really bizarre. So he's. I think he just met Bubsy, and now it's combat time.
Yep. Now, if you look in the battle screen, right, you notice something about Bubsy?
What did I miss?
Well, did you notice
Bubsy
something
has
about
a chest.
Bubsy? Yep. Bubsy has a sizable chest this time around.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, you're right. Oh boy, yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Buzzy.
Yep.
Yeah. Space
What
funeral.
are we
We're talking
talking
about space
about?
funeral.
Yep.
And I'm trying to talk so that the thing stays focused on me. Unless you can, is it possible for you to lock it to me or something?
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused a little bit because I accidentally opened the stream link and I got confused by the talk echo. But yeah, you notice that Bubsy has a sizable chest, and
Yes.
apparently Bubsy is a trans woman right now.
Yeah, I did notice. I noticed that
Yep,
especially in the face screenshot when they joined the party.
yep. And the idea is, well, the interesting thing is that the author making this remake slash sequel of this game is also responsible for a blog that is dedicated to the idea of Bubsy being a trans woman.
Huh.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is because the artwork is pretty cute and some of the asks are just adorable. So here's the link. I'm gonna link it to you in the YouTube stream chat.
Let's have a. Is Grem here?
Oh wait, it's not letting me send links.
Now you're gonna need to remove
You
the.
gotta butcher the link. Just take the H here.
All
I
right, you
can
do it.
I can butcher the link
Uh-huh.
properly. uh,
But yeah, this game is pretty interesting, and well, I actually like got the attention of this website. I mean, this Tumblr blog, and by extension, this game in progress. All thanks to a art friend of mine who posted fan art of this blog idea thing. And I just kept looking and looking, and I just go down the rabbit hole of the whole Bubsy verse.
that there is a Bubsy verse is very interesting.
Yeah, like it's actually quite surprising that this game series still has a fandom. Because, as you understand, right, Bubsy hasn't had a very good history when it comes to games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have like the two platformer games on the SNES, right? Which aren't horrible, but not very good, right? And then there's Bubsy 3D, which yeah, shat the bed. And then there's that Atari Jaguar game, which is actually not that bad, but still bombed because Atari Jaguar is a piece of shit.
What's the worst that could happen?
But yeah, apparently there's an enduring Bubsy fan base that end up making stuff like the space, like the museum thing of
I
the
don't
Bubsy Museum
understand why
game.
they're. I don't know.
You
He's a
know,
furry cat, but I don't. I I don't. I don't. I don't get it. I don't get there's a BuzzFeed fan base though, but these games are so awful.
because
They're
there had
all
to be
so
people.
bad.
There had to be people who enjoyed the game that they
Is
got
it
stuck in.
Biofest?
Well, here's the interesting thing: is that in one of the asks that I've read in that blog, right? It's actually there's actually a guy that kind of posted an ask to the blog, and that person pretty much said that Bubsy was a part of their life, a big part of their lives that helped them cope with a lot of family problems and kept them from killing themselves. So that is actually quite touching. And I mean, it really blows my mind that something this wonderful can come out of something, well, something so below average. But yeah, the biggest reason why I'm really enamored by this blog is that the artwork is cute and the lore. I don't know. There is something about the lore that just really tickles me.
maybe maybe you feel a little bit of a but
Sympathy, pathos.
yeah, maybe you feel a little of a sympathy with maybe your own history or something. I don't
Hmm, not really. I don't remember being a hooker in order to make ends meet.
know. No.
But yeah. I guess it's just like something that's kind of fun that came out of a fandom that is based on games that aren't good. So in all, I guess I have to say that it is a pretty good. It is a pretty good like thing about fandoms that they can make things that are better than the games they are based on. In all seriousness, though, I've been looking into the games themselves for a couple of days now, and in all honesty, right, I do think that they really did have potential to be really good games if only they did not have a one-hit KO mechanic to them.
Yeah, I mean that was something that was even fixed in uh, that Sonic himself did differently, right? They
Yes, yes.
fixed the one hit mechanic.
Hmm.
It made it kind of one hit you lose all your rings, and then after that is when you die. So
Yeah, unless you collect
Unless you
someone's rings
grab the
back.
ring again.
Uh-huh.
yep.
So basically, the rings was like kind of protection against you messing up, right? But Bubsy never had any of those protections.
Bubsy was
So pretty
about
much everything can kill
being
you.
goddamn perfect.
That's yeah. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Mario fixed that too because it had normally that's the way it was, but then it had a mechanism by which it wasn't like that.
Well,
Uh,
Mario had a mechanism where he can take one more hit when it comes to the mushrooms.
yeah.
And
So
then Super Mario World 3 came up with the idea of holdable items that you can bring out in the middle of a level. So even if you lose your power up, right, you can get it back by reusing, like by using the power up that you carried.
Yep.
by the way,
And then,
breaking news. Breaking news.
What?
Phil Fish has unlocked his Twitter account.
ah,
What?
who
Phil Fish's
unlocked?
tweets are no
Why?
longer protected. I don't know.
Wait, who unlocked their Twitter account?
Phil Fish,
Goldfish.
Oh, wait, who the fuck is Phil Fish?
Fez.
creator of Fez.
Oh, I know, I was being glib here. Seriously
That
though.
really, really pretentious indie asshole.
I guess he's seeking attention once again, as usual. So I guess the best course of action is to just ignore him.
Yep. Only thing that might be interesting is some old tweets that were referenced in screenshots and things might be good to get an archive of them while
Uh-huh.
it's unlocked. But other than that, I advise not giving him any more attention than he deserves. So,
I agree.
uh,
So before we wrap up the whole furry section, because this is pretty much more of a fandom stuff, right? Rocky, yeah.
Hmm?
Do you think it's okay to shield the artist behind this blog, or do you think that the viewers can seek it out themselves?
You could always just link it in the chat and stuff and all that.
Yeah, okay then. I'm gonna let me look for their blog.
I'm
There we
sorry,
go.
I've been so quiet as of current.
Yeah.
I
So
wish I
this
could
is their
comment
blog,
with it, but
and wait, hang on. Let me post it in the chat, the external chat. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the artist behind the whole like trans thing, and he's actually quite good at drawing in general. So I would like to say that this whole furry segment is basically a promotion of this artist because good work, good artwork, has pretty interesting projects, has pretty interesting ideas. Also has an adorable fursuit. Oh my god.
I am right now anime.
Mhm. So before we finish this up, I would like to just ask you if any of you had any experience with Bubsy games.
no, I've never actually played a Bubsy game.
I
Uh,
have.
yes.
I've actually played and beaten the second game.
Oh. And what would you say about this game that differs from the first game?
This RPG game.
Uh huh.
Well,
Interesting.
for one, it's an RPG. Second, Bubsy has boobs.
um.
Third, what?
No, no. I'm actually talking about the SNES thing.
Oh, SNES.
Yeah.
What SNES?
Are you being glib again?
Am I what?
Are you being funny?
Obviously, I was a little bit paying attention to something else. I
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you're paying attention to Bubsy's boobs.
No, I was actually looking at Phil Fish's Twitter,
Oh. Oh yes, archiving Philfish.
and apparently, furries are the lowest form of cancer. I think he probably might have unlocked his Twitter just to say, "Get educated and prevent TBP."
Oh, well, at least it's for a noble
Well,
cause again, I guess.
yeah. Well, I guess at least there's something I can respect him on. And then there's Rami saying everything is better with boobs. I concur. I just wish mine was
Wow,
bigger.
Phil was actually taking pot shots at Zoe.
Oh.
Are you sure that's
Well,
the right account?
Yes.
this will be interesting to watch. But let's just save this for another recap.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be discussing this if anything interesting comes of it. Uh,
Oh, and I think this might be the fake
Hmm.
Phil Fish.
Okay. Well, since we just went past the whole Bubsy thing, let's just go to the final segment that I would like to talk about, which is pretty much new to this podcast, and it's called Open Assignments. And what Open Assignments is basically ideas for extra like other video projects that we could be doing in between podcasts, and it is basically on a first come first serve basis. Anyone can take up the task, and it's pretty much just ideas being thrown around on what we could be playing, what we could show off on the channel in the future. So I have prepared 5 different possible tasks that we could be doing in the future. So let's move on to the first one, right? It's on a Titan pad, but I'm gonna repost it on the side chat of this hangout.
What are we talking about
Okay.
now? I'm sorry that I've been kind of
assigned tasks.
assigned task for us.
Yes, we have homework.
Oh
Yep.
gosh, when
So
did you? What made you give us homework? I was not paying attention at all.
So the
Oh
first
boy.
thing that the first task, like the first in the possible kind of assignments we could be doing is Freedom Planet parallel Let's Plays. Essentially, this is going to be like a 3-person task. One person is going to do like classic mode using each using a different character. So you can have one person playing as Carol, one person playing as Lilac, and the other playing as Mila. I think this is going to be pretty interesting because it is going to show up like the different level progression for each different characters.
Yeah, that would be
Plus,
interesting.
yeah, plus Mila is best dog. And okay, now the next one is a much more dedicated LP. It is mainly a one-person thing, but others could be brought in to comment on it while you showcase the game. And it's Dust and Elysian Tale 100% hard mode.
Ooh,
Yep.
my
Like
gosh.
I love this game, and I can see how much potential this has for the completionist because there are a lot of things that are out of the way that if you explore a little bit, you can get rewarded with a lot of stuff. So this will be an interesting Let's Play to be doing.
Oh boy! All right.
Yep. The third one is going to be a lot more casual. Basically, it is going to be a game of Armello, which could be done daily or weekly, like one session per video. And this is going to be like one of the easiest things to do because, well, the only real hurdle is owning the game. Because essentially, Armello is a furry board game. And I think it's going to be pretty fun if we can play through all of it. We can play through this like regularly. What do you think?
Never heard of it. Oh, this one. This one. It's
Yeah,
like
it's a furry board game on the Steam.
Oh yeah, I remember this. I'll pick it up. I'll pick up a copy.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this in an early podcast, so I thought it was there's no reason not to touch on this game in more
Alright.
depth.
Yeah,
Yep.
sounds like a good idea to me.
And the next one I think that Rocky is going to love is Sonic Generations Mod Showcase. The reason I decided on the whole mod showcase thing is that Sonic Generations is already a well-played game by now. There has already been like lots of perfect run videos of the game, right, on each level. So if we decide to go the same route, right, it might be a bit extraneous and nothing that other people hasn't already seen before. But with Mod Showcase, right, we can showcase some of the stuff that the community has made that is pretty cool. Like, for example, the Blaze the Cat mod for Sonic Generations. I have seen a video of this mod and I think it looks pretty neat. Rocky, are you there?
So
I was just talking about Sonic Generations and how we could be doing a video on mods for this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of good mods for that game.
see, here's the issue that I'm running into. My computer can barely run some of these games. That isn't like a 2D game or something like that. So it's not like I can provide any gameplay myself,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. But I can do a showcase on mods because I love talking about mods and stuff.
Maybe we could help you by providing footage of it, and then you can talk about it.
Yeah,
And
that works.
as a voiceover.
I still want to do my character showcase or thing. Can I ask a question? Is
Yes.
this something we should be talking about during the podcast?
Not the character showcase, but we're just talking about videos, like video games.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is something that hey, everybody. But this is something that I feel we should be discussing outside of the podcast.
I don't know because I think that it is possible that we could open the idea of some of these games being played open house style. You know, opening a
Oh,
game.
you want to tell people about it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That
suppose-
way we can be publicly accountable for any slacking off we do.
Oh. Well, guys, I will be doing a Sonic related video that I still haven't gotten to work on at all yet.
Mhm.
So
Oh, the picture.
we'll talk and discuss about it because it's important.
And one final item that we could also be possibly doing is a co-op survival night. And in the list of possible games is Killing Floor 1 or 2, Left 4 Dead, and I actually kind of forgot to complete this, but COD World at War / Black Ops 2 Zombies.
I don't have any Call of Duty games.
Uh,
I have from that list Killing Floor 1 and Left 4 Dead 2.
Well, that's good enough then. Like, the idea is that we could just like play a survival game together with no kind of filters or pretenses of any structure, and just shoot the shit. And how does it sound? Like, in this final item, right, any games are possible as long as we all own it.
like Borderlands.
Borderlands, yes.
But Grim has issue running Borderlands.
The first one or the second
Yes.
one?
Both.
Uh,
My computer is a toaster. It's a failure. All right.
I'm sorry.
Gosh, I could play all the cool games if I wanted to, but my computer is shit.
No,
Dog poop.
I think Grim can also play Terraria with us.
Ooh.
Does
That's...
Grim own Terraria? Oh, yes, he does.
Yes.
What about
Does QQ
Starbound?
own? I don't have Starbound.
Oh,
I don't
we
have
should
it
get
either.
it for you then.
Does QQ own Starbound? Well, Terraria, rather.
Uh-huh.
QQ?
I
I
think you want...
don't worry about whether I can own a game or not. I can usually acquire any of them. The only issue is actually finding time to play them. I'm probably not gonna have much time to take part in these challenges, unfortunately.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, personally, I would be willing to take part in the Freedom Planet stuff. Because I really love this game.
I'd like to
Co-op survival night, I definitely can do it because I already host a Killing Floor 1 server already, so it is not a big effort to organize that. So, is there
I
anything
think
else that you
I
want to
think
bring up?
this I think we're gonna cut this for good
Yeah.
tonight. This was a good it was a okay podcast. I am so sorry I haven't been contributing. I've
Well,
been
we
so
kind
slow.
of, well, we are kind of running at around 4.5 hours.
Yes.
Good
Which is
golly,
this is the longest podcast we've ever had.
this is the
Yep.
longest podcast. No, it isn't. I've actually seen a stream go for 8 hours before.
No, this is the longest podcast we've had.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
This has been
with
fun.
that said, this was a fun little conversation. I hope our audience enjoyed it. I am so sorry for not being able to bring in my delectable feedback that I'm often known for. I'm sure I'm known for that. I don't know what I'm known for here in this podcast currently. But, in otherwise, I will have to say to all of you out there, arrivederci. Is that goodbye?
Yeah. And please give some Bubsy some love.